need your grace, that's your mercy. That's your mercy, that's your grace. Hey, alright.
That's your mercy. I need your mercy. Hey, that's your grace. I need your grace. That's your mercy. I need your mercy. Hey, that's your grace. I need your grace. That's your mercy. I need your mercy. Hey, that's your grace. I need your grace. That's your mercy. Some days be different than others. Some days we feel so low. Some days we move so fast that things be out of control. You might remember the past, receive the present for sure. The future bringing a king, the one we all should know. Take over your mind and let your love be your soul. If you missing the point, that's cause you missing the goal. I might have felt your pain, I might have seen your shame. Just remember your redemption, it was written in the law. You was bought with a price, you shouldn't ask about the cost. And if he frees you today, what would you keep God lost? We been up, we been down, we been in, we been out. Ain't nothing wrong with confessing, just have faith, no doubt. Let your work be your passion, the armor God is your fashion. We attracted to death, that's why we need God's grace. I wouldn't say that I'm straight unless I read it that way. And it's all in the Bible, cause that's a core in the faith. We can't live in these lives, I mean what more can I say? I thank God for Christ, because he took my place. We can't live in these lives, I mean what more can I say? I thank God for Christ, because he took my place. I need your mercy, hey, that's your grace. I need your grace, that's your mercy. I need your mercy, hey, that's your grace. I need your grace, that's your mercy. I need your mercy, hey, that's your grace. I need your grace, that's your mercy. I need your mercy, hey, that's your grace. I need your grace, that's your mercy. Open the windows from heaven, pour me down with the blessings. As I turn a new leaf, make me new just like spring. Need some water, refresh me, call it spiritual spring. You see another door opens, just as soon as one close. You might have felt like you didn't deserve it, that's how things just roll. With God, everything's possible, that's how miracles go. If the Lord just calls you, then you might be chose. I wouldn't look past his word, because it's here for a reason. There's a season for blessing, there's no need to be stressing. As it's written by God, from the start to the finish, every prophecy fulfilled. We don't deal with religion, we need his mercy for real. If you trying to stop sinning, sent down from heaven as one of the children. Son of God, son of man, I thank you for forgiveness. Sent down from heaven as one of the children. Son of God, son of man, I thank you for forgiveness. I need your mercy, hey, that's your grace. I need your grace, that's your mercy. I need your mercy, hey, that's your grace. I need your grace, that's your mercy. I wanna be there in my homeland. I wanna be there in New Jerusalem. I wanna be there where the prophets be. See, I'm from Israel, and in Israel where I wanna be. I wanna be there in my homeland. I wanna be there in New Jerusalem. I wanna be there where the prophets be. See, I'm from Israel, and in Israel where I wanna be. I'm getting tired of why Jesus look, that's not my king. Keep telling lies, then it's beef, but this ain't Burger King. It wasn't Africans, but Israelites upon the ships. Reverse the curses, now the slave master jumping ship. It is a trip, how cool feels, but that's not me. I keep it straight and I keep it real. Keeping the faith, see redemption is for Israel. You might not know, but that's okay. God put his prophets in this place. Do what you can to stay awake. They try to put you back to sleep. Every week we have to teach, and that means everything to me. See, I'm an Israelite in Israel where I'm supposed to be. It is my history, and obviously it's prophecy that was told to me. It ain't Israel if it's the Middle East. I face the east and pray to God that it return to me. Return to me. It ain't Israel if it's the Middle East. I pray the east and pray to God that it return to me. Return to me. I wanna be there in my homeland. I wanna be there in New Jerusalem. I wanna be there where the prophets be. See, I'm from Israel and in Israel where I wanna be. I wanna be there in my homeland. I wanna be there in New Jerusalem. I wanna be there where the prophets be. See, I'm from Israel and in Israel where I wanna be.
Part of my land, took my name, then they rape my brother, rape my mother, put my brother on them trees. That's why you catch us, and we in them streets, crying aloud and spare not, till we see what it means to be the kings and the priests and the gods of this earth. I'm on a hustle for real, man, this grind here hurt. Left the block desolate and all my people it hurt. It get hard when you see all of your people getting murked. I picture myself in Jerusalem, riding and sliding, which means while I'm here, I gotta be grinding. Ain't no time for acting like they don't know. In the meantime, Christ coming, they gon' know. Me and see as we see, know them as we have. Magnify your right arm and bring them design. And they ain't got time to play boots on the gridiron. And we been holding it up and holding it design.
I wanna be there in my homeland. I wanna be there in New Jerusalem. I wanna be there where the prophets be. See, I'm from Israel and in Israel where I wanna be. I wanna be there in my homeland. I wanna be there in New Jerusalem. I wanna be there where the prophets be. See, I'm from Israel and in Israel where I wanna be.
You the GOAT, boy.
RT, you good, bro?
Been signed to the pain. I've been doing this here, man.
Crazy coming back and crack the sky, he come with fire. Babylon, yeah, it gotta burn, yeah, with fire. Damn, where you read that at? It's in the Bible. I tell you what you're afraid of, a black messiah. Crazy coming back and crack the sky, he come with fire. Babylon, yeah, you gotta burn, yeah, with fire. Damn, where you read that at? It's in the Bible. I tell you what you're afraid of, a black messiah. Christ, he coming back to save his people from the enemy. The same people stole us, then they sold us to the enemy. Came on a slave ship, shackles on my damn arm, yokes around my neck, on my feet, so I couldn't run. Me, Shack, drag, slave, name a Bendigo. Trap in the fire, burn, deliver us from Babylon. Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar, that's where he carried us. It done us bad, do us wrong, like in America. Jeremiah prophesied against this nation. Daddy said be careful, grandmama said they are strong, yeah. Walking in your flesh, watch your soul, cause it can burn, bro. Walking in the spirit, you hear me, I come to warn you. From Tennessee to Louisiana to Mississippi. Told my slave master we tripping, cause we gon' get ya. Revelation chapter 13 and verse 10, yeah. He that have a ear, let him hear, so hear me clearly. First he coming back, he crack the sky, he come with fire. Babylon, yeah, it gotta burn, yeah, with fire. Damn, where you read that at? It's in the Bible. I tell you what you're afraid of, a black messiah. Christ, he coming back, he crack the sky, he come with fire. Babylon, yeah, you gotta burn, yeah, with fire. Damn, where you read that at? It's in the Bible. I tell you what you're afraid of, a black messiah.
Who is that in Basra? Covered in grapes, come for the war, not the complaints. Swinging the sword, saving the saints. All of the years, that what you ain't. And I ain't talking about Lil Caesar, this the lamb. Ain't no ham and pepperoni on this pizza. And it won't be nice to meet you when he come with that drama. No Obama, we'll bring this campaign to your mama. It rained flames out in Egypt when he came for his people. The same thing like Luke came, Mortal Kombat the sequel. Edom, get over here. My king gon' get this flawless victory. And for those Israelites that sin consistently, better read your history, or you too will be that history. The secrets of iniquity are no longer a mystery. It's misery for anybody that wanna play. You still believe in Santa Claus, the Messiah gon' slay. No reindeer, his rain feel when he coming that day. Don't let your mouth write a check that your soul can't pay. Go.
Christ, he coming back, he crack the sky, he come with fire. Babylon, yeah, it gotta burn, yeah, with fire. Damn, where you read that at? It's in the Bible. I tell you what you're afraid of, a black messiah. Christ, he coming back, crack the sky, he come with fire. Babylon, yeah, you gotta burn, yeah, with fire. Damn, where you read that at? It's in the Bible. I tell you a black messiah.
Christ tipping the scales, saving the 12, bringing the power, saving our people out of this hell. Jack and Jill, you bring the pail, cause you are for sale. Oxen blocks, Edomites, taking this L. This Bible prophecy, oppression for oppressors. We the teachers in the classroom, here to teach a lesson. We the prophets on the streets with a plethora of scriptures. The 12 tribes we trying to reach for Messiah bring visions. Yeah, Isaiah 14:21. For the sins of the fathers, Christ killing all his sons, so they don't rise and slander God with their tongue, with words smooth as butter, but it was war in their hearts. Fire breathing dragon, Christ about that action. Babylon gon' panic when the Lord begins to tax it. He gon' beat them down to a fraction. Take the kingdom back, and no, we not asking.
Christ is coming back, he crack the sky, he come with fire. Babylon, yeah, it gotta burn, yeah, with fire. Damn, where you read that at? It's in the Bible. I tell you what you're afraid of, a black messiah. Christ, he coming back, he crack the sky, he come with fire. Babylon, yeah, you gotta burn, yeah, with fire. Damn, where you read that at? It's in the Bible. I tell you what you're afraid of, a black messiah.
I'm not a bad individual, I just made some mistakes on my way down the road. Drop that old man like a give and go. The one in the mirror is my biggest fault. Ain't gonna act like it's difficult, I gotta get right cause the time ain't gon' slow. Gotta do as it is written though. Man, I thank the Lord if you didn't know. He saved my life. When I'm with my brothers, I'm in my own world. Flip through the scripts and see diamonds and pearls. Wickedness, I just leave that for the germ. Came in it up in the slide on my jewels in other cities. I found a brand new way of life. Never alone, even though nobody with me. I got my God, he saved my life. Why you in my way? Kingdom on the line, I cannot play. Not today, okay. I'm not a bad individual, I just made some mistakes on my way down the road. Drop that old man like a give and go. The one in the mirror is my biggest fault. Ain't gonna act like it's difficult, I gotta get right cause the time ain't gon' slow. Gotta do as it is written though. Man, I thank the Lord if you didn't know. He saved my life.
I had to get the right living the center life. Could've went wrong. I done fell plenty times, but I'm in a fight. Still holding on. You need to decide if you really on this side. Then move along. And this is the end signs, yeah, this is the end. Don't leave me alone. My father gave me the recipe. Day to day, I see that Satan be vesting me. I had to become a better me. Walking different, had to switch up the energy. Wishing death upon the enemy. Son of perdition ain't who he pretend to be. Now I'm steady learning lessons, searching out the blessings that Moses had said to me.
For a while I was wild and the old man inside me had my vision blinded. Searching to find it, had to change up.
Could've went wrong.
Now I'm tryna stay up.
Still holding on.
I'm not a bad individual, I just made some mistakes on my way down the road. Drop that old man like a give and go. The one in the mirror is my biggest fault. Ain't gonna act like it's difficult, I gotta get right cause the time ain't gon' slow. Gotta do as it is written though. Man, I thank the Lord if you didn't know. He saved my life.
Wagwan, I done made some mistakes, ain't no bar mine. And it pours when it rains, if it wash off the stains, they still look at me strange for the outcome. Yeah, how come? He chose me to walk up this mountain. And all of the blessings and mercies I seen on this journey, I never forgot one. And all of a sudden it is what it was, and I'm seeing the suffering, I'm sick to my stomach. Betrayed him for nothing, divided the judgment. He raining out curses on dirty as dust. Now how can I function? I'm knowing the life that I live could lead to destruction. Kingdom is coming. Get it together, no time for dysfunction.
I'm not a bad individual, I just made some mistakes on my way down the road. Drop that old man like a give and go. The one in the mirror is my biggest fault. Ain't gonna act like it's difficult, I gotta get right cause the time ain't gon' slow. Gotta do as it is written though. Man, I thank the Lord if you didn't know. He saved my life.
Satan to send lies, they call me Raymond. Can't grow complacent, my heart is racing, the Lord is waiting. I follow in his footsteps, it's not complicated. I've been living in this hell, so I gotta make it. This could be my only chance, so I gotta take it. So I gotta take it. This could be my only chance, so Brothers been tripping for too long, so I've been walking face up through the mud with my boots on. And I'll be damned if I do wrong. I just hate when the news on, cause all I'm seeing is depression and oppression all up in their face. And they wanna give up on a day by day. Just know the Lord, He is making a way. So if you keep in the faith, hold your head high, it's gonna be okay. And I don't even feel no more. My people getting killed, it's getting really real. And they don't wanna live on, no, 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 no. It's cause of the sin, why we always gotta die on the block. Why our sisters always gotta cry on the block. And mama feel the pain when I walk, how I walk. And she hates how I talk, why you talk like that?
Rainbows on my two sides. See the block is getting too hot. Times running, don't need a new watch. They fell for the do-out. That thing, I really, really wish you. Yeah, this world is so wicked, it got my mind gone. But we been flipping through scriptures, it got my mind blown. Guess since we back on the mission with our forefathers' traditions, and we been painting the pictures like the time drawn. Yeah, this world is so wicked, it got my mind gone. But we been flipping through scriptures, it got my mind blown. Guess since we back on the mission with our forefathers' traditions, and we been painting the pictures like the time drawn. Right in that fire and made it out.
Welcome back to another week of Let's Talk Truth. Today you got myself, Officer Emmanuel, to my right.
Officer Baruch.
To my far right.
Officer Hezekiah.
To my left.
Officer Jeremiah.
All praise to the Most High God.
Yes, so today, sir.
We got a hell of a topic on our hand. The truth about the crack era. Right? You know, a lot of us done heard the term crack babies.
Right.
Born in the 80s, crack baby.
Oh. Damn.
Right?
Not me though.
A lot. Right, because you an 80s baby.
80 baby. You 80s, right?
See, that explains a lot.
Wow.
That explains a whole lot.
80s crack baby.
Damn.
You lose.
Man, we need to find
Good day, sir.
brothers, man. We got to find somebody.
But now, all praise to the Most High. Look, a lot of people in our generation today, you know, we've been kind of disconnected, or it's been so long ago. It's like crack still has an effect in this community.
Right.
People still make a lot of money off crack cocaine in the black community.
Thanks.
A lot of households still being destroyed by crack cocaine in the black community.
Right.
However, you know, the younger generation is ignorant to the origins, the roots, and the initial impact that it had, you know, contributing to the destruction of the black community. And that's after, you know, many years, decades of it being celebrated in the rap culture. It started out being celebrated in gangster rap, you know, because gangs was the ones really regulating drugs in the community. So you had the NWA, you had, you know, different rappers in the 90s that rapped about hustling, slanging rocks and stuff like that. But then in the South in the early 2000s, you had the birth of trap music.
Right.
And that really made crack seem like a, you know, like a, not a good thing, but
it was like a,
like you wanted to hustle. You wanted to be able to say you done sold drugs at some point in time. That was like a stripe. Like you ain't no real street nigga if you ain't never sold something. You understand? That's how trap music made it.
Right.
So, you know, with that being said, like the people that's our age, 20s, 30s, a lot of them are ignorant to, you know, the truth about the crack era. A lot of people just in general. You understand? So we gonna peel that thing back and really go into it today. So make sure everybody like, share, subscribe. I'm sure you got somebody in your family. Everybody got their at least one family member, you know what I'm saying, that then,
Was a crackhead.
went down that road. So we all can relate to it. We all have been affected in some type of way. So it will behoove you all to like, share, comment, all right, spread the word about this class, and call in. All right, the number is 833-878-7234, extension 7. Again, that's 833-878-7234, extension 7. All right?
Message.
So real quick, let's get Psalms chapter 85, verse 11. The reason why we cover these topics, the truth about these certain things, because ain't nobody else doing it. Ain't nobody else gonna bring out the information in the scriptures, the prophecy that pertain to it.
Right.
A lot of people don't know that our history, our reality is in the Bible. But it was prophetic that this would happen in the last days. You see in prophecy unfold with the young men right in front of you. All right, read what you got.
Psalms chapter 85, verse 11.
Come on.
Truth shall spring out of the earth.
What did God say?
Truth shall spring out of the earth.
That's why you got a radio show on the real underground. You understand?
Right.
Cause for something to spring forth, that's where it got to start. You got to start under the ground, the roots.
Right.
You understand? God said truth will spring forth out of the earth. You understand? It's going to make it to the mass media. That's why you got celebrities putting it out there. We the real Jews.
Message.
You understand? After all these years of us not having no identity, you see people waking up, speaking out, and it's causing an uproar. Why is it causing an uproar? Professing yourself to be a Muslim didn't cause an uproar.
Right.
Being a Crip of blood, that didn't cause an uproar.
Right.
Hell no.
That was the #1 Billboard hit. One blood.
Right.
Man.
You understand? But when you say you a Jew,
Oh, man.
it's a problem. God said, hey, all these lies, all these years, guess what? Truth gonna spring up out of the earth. All praise to the Most High God. Finish that out.
And righteousness shall look down from heaven.
Right, and righteousness shall look down from heaven. So let's get into the topic, man. We just gonna show y'all briefly a little bit of what we gonna go into today. All right, play that first clip. It's 1 minute and 12 seconds. Play it.
I will tell you, Director Deutsch, as a former Los Angeles police narcotics detective, that the agency has dealt drugs throughout this country for a long time.
For decades, the American government has been accused of intentionally flooding the streets with hard drugs. The CIA and law enforcement have supposedly been funneling drugs into the inner cities, and to the African American community in particular, as part of a covert effort to stop them attaining stability, building wealth, and achieving political power.
It is aimed at African American, there's no doubt about that whatsoever. And for the other non-African people, they should know that this directly will harm them too.
These ideas took particular hold in the 1980s with the emergence of the so-called crack epidemic. It's easy to understand how people of color may not believe the US authorities have their best interests at heart. But do these particular drug charges stick? Did the intelligence agencies actually play a role in flooding American cities with cocaine? In this episode, we're exploring whether the CIA was actually responsible for the crack epidemic and how exactly this story gained so much traction.
So this is really an amazing case right here, because if the CIA, if the government pumped the drugs into the community, how can they be convicted?
Damn.
You understand? Like how can they be found guilty? Like how can they be punished if they're the punisher?
They may show that. Like,
Right.
obviously, you got to think about it. Like, remember, these same people orchestrated slavery. You know, put slavery and no justice happened. So, yeah, bro, it's like
How
that's the
could
best
it?
way.
How could it? If justice is in their hands, how can they execute justice upon themselves?
It ain't gonna happen.
How could it? How could they?
Right.
Get Zechariah 11:5 real quick. I know we use this a lot for police brutality, and it most definitely goes into that. But this scripture shows the power of the oppressor. They have the power to, they basically above the law because they created the law. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So this is what they're able to do. Read what you got.
Zechariah chapter 11, verse 5.
Come on.
Whose possessors slay them.
Whose possessors slay them. Who are the possessors? The slave owners, right? The people that took us captive in the United States of America. It said they slayed them. The them is the flock of the slaughter when you read verse 4. The Israelites. All right, read on.
And hold themselves not guilty.
So they killed the Israelites in many different ways. Police brutality is just one. The crack epidemic was another one.
Right.
You understand? The war on drugs was slaying the black family in more ways than one. You understand? So they killed the black community in large numbers and hide them in prison houses and then what? And do what?
And they hold themselves not guilty.
And hold themselves not guilty.
Damn!
Like, who's going to jail for it? Yeah, we did it. And you understand?
Right.
That's basically what we finna show today. They really, it's out there. It's, you know, it's not hard to uncover, but it just shows, like, the power of the oppressor. Get there real quick in Ecclesiastes chapter 4. I believe it's verse 1. Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 1.
Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 1. So I return and consider all the oppressions that are done under the sun.
Right. So all the oppressions done, one of the worst, and we gonna show it today. We really just kind of scratching the surface, dealing with crack and the effect that it has had on the people of God. You understand? We just touching the surface, but that is real deal one of the worst oppressions under the sun when you consider it. Like, these people put this in our community, and look at the many demonic evil things that it does. So you consider the oppressions like the crack epidemic. Come on.
And behold, the tears of such as were oppressed.
And all the families that have been affected, all the lives that have been lost, whether it be to the jail, whether it be to the grave, whether it be to the pipe. You understand? Because some people can smoke crack and shake back, but that's the minority of them that use it. You understand? The majority of people that shake crack, they die. They become a zombie. They not the person you grew up with. They not the person you knew and loved. They a whole legion of demons now.
Right.
You understand?
Damn!
You don't know if they gonna run up on you when they see you. You don't know if they gonna steal from you. You don't know what they gonna bring forth. So it didn't cause many tears to be shed. Read on.
And they had no comfort.
And they what?
Had no comfort.
They had no comfort. They had nobody to stand up for them and console and be like, we gonna rectify this. You understand? This is gonna be rectified. This gonna be cleaned up at the community, and the people that did this to you, they gonna be punished. No, we never had that comfort. Guess what they gave us as a comforter? Trap music.
Damn.
You know what? Just embrace it. Embrace your destruction, nigga.
Damn.
For real.
Right.
That ain't no damn comfort. That's a trick. A trick bag.
That's it.
But read on.
And on the side of their oppressors, there was power.
On the side of who?
Their oppressors, there was power.
On the side of the oppressor, it was power. You understand? So it wasn't nothing that they could do about it. There was no might in our hand.
Right, right.
You understand? The oppressors had the power. They got the power to control the narrative, the media. They able to demonize you. Why are we the demons and the savages and the people that need to be took off the street when we wasn't the ones that put it on the street?
Right.
No black man grew crack in their backyard.
Right.
You understand? Nobody had cocaine plantations in on their block.
Hell no.
Nobody. Who brought it here? How did we get here? The oppressor, but they got the power. You can't. What you gonna do to them? They the ones that make the law.
Hey, officer, like you said, it's all orchestrated. Can I get a script? Can I get Psalms 83 and verse 3? You know, we pull this scripture a lot, hey, because we know we've been going through it in captivity and like the media, everything they do against us. Like you said with Kanye West and when we speak out saying that we are the people of the Bible, they always got something to say. Hey, you know what? Take away his status. You know what I'm saying? Do this to them.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? It's all a crafty counsel. Read what you got.
The book of Psalms, chapter 83 and verse 3.
Read.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
So that's what they did. They was like, you know what? These Negroes thought they was going to try to do a Black Panther movement and go and try to rise up. Oh, yeah, come on. Here we go. 80s. I'm going to go and put that crack in your community. Oh, yeah, now you're going to turn against your own people. You're going to sell drugs. You're going to kill your mamas, kill your fathers. Ain't going to be no more fathers in the community standing up because they all doped out. Right. Or they slanging dope. It says they took crafty counsel, Reed.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
And they consulted against you because you are the hidden ones. You are the children of this Bible. Read.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
That's what the goal was. They wanted to make sure that you couldn't rise as a nation. You could do nothing but fall. Crack destroyed our people. It destroyed our community. And the effects of crack from back then still affects us today. I'm telling you.
So look, hey, we gonna get into it. We gonna get into the crack era, all right? But before we do, we got to deal with the reality radar, all right? What's going on in the world right now that people talking about, right? That, you know, that is an issue amongst the masses. All right, put that on the screen real quick. Now, a lot of people, of course, you know, you've been in the hot topic or whatever, but this kind of slip under the rug a little bit. All right, read that real quick.
Who? Mother of George Floyd's daughter reportedly files $250 million lawsuit against Kanye West for comments on his death.
$250 million lawsuit against.
Damn.
Him. Read the caption.
Neighbors, once again, when you act like a clown, it falls down.
Damn. Ain't that his song?
Oh, baby, oh.
Go ahead.
According to KPRC News, Roxy Washington, the mother of Gianna Floyd, George Floyd's daughter, has filed a $250 million lawsuit against rapper Kanye West following his recent comments on Floyd's death on the Drink Champs podcast.
Hey, I got something real quick to say. You know what's funny about this situation? Like, you know, Kanye West gave them money whenever George Floyd died. He helped them, and nobody was trying to help them. Kanye gave him like $1 million or something like that, $9 million or something.
Put some respect on my name.
Now look what they did. We gonna just, we want more money from you, Negro, for speaking it out against our. I'm telling, like,
$250 million.
Damn.
His wife ain't get that much.
Keep reading, keep going.
In a press release from Witherspoon Law Group and Dixon attorneys at law, they stated malicious falsehoods about Floyd in order to profit from his death and the family's trauma.
Scroll down in that caption space. Yeah.
Roxy Washington, lawyers made the following statements. False statements about George Floyd's death to promote his brands and increase marketing value and revenue for himself, his business partners, and associates.
So her name is not Roxy Floyd. It's Roxy Washington. That's his baby mama.
Damn.
Now, I don't know the brother personal business. You know what I'm saying? But typically, when a man has a baby mama, you know, they be on child support.
Yeah.
They can't see their child whenever they want to. You understand? The baby mama becomes an oppressor in your life.
I need my child support.
So, this is who... Not the wife, right? Because he was married, right? So this is not his wife.
Right.
this is a thing of the past that has a child for him is trying to use the Ye controversy, the Ye interview as a come up to become a $250 million.
Nickel.
This is insane. There is lottery amounts that's not $250 million. Like jackpotting out, it don't even be that damn much. You understand? She trying to collect $250 million. That is, if that ain't entitlement, I don't know what is.
Damn,
that's some wild stuff right there.
Right.
That's crazy.
Our people that been conditioned by PPP loans and stimulus checks and scams, like we can just come up on large amounts of money just from some BS.
2 years and chains our people.
Really, nigga?
That's some wild stuff, bro. That's some wild
The
stuff.
police that shoot us down in the street, they be like, they give him $2 million. But he didn't do nothing to this one. He just spoke out against them.
That's heavy. Yeah, people that didn't serve 20, 30 years in jail being wrongfully convicted. And when when it come to light that they was wrongfully convicted after 20, 30 years, they don't get nowhere near that amount.
They give them a few million.
They didn't spend their whole life. They didn't lost their life behind something they did not do.
Man.
And they get probably 1% of that.
No. Less than 1%.
They get less than 1% of what she trying to get.
Come on now, dog.
That is wild. That's some wild stuff right
I hate it here.
I guess because
that's malicious.
I guess because she was paying attention. You know the Columbine shooting or whatever. What's that dude? The white Edomite. He had to pay Alex Jones. Yeah, Alex Jones had to pay all them people. It's like damn near $250 million. But that was like 19 people. So he had to split all that between all them. And so it was a lot of people, or it probably was more than that. He had to split all that with all them people.
Right.
She going after one person for one death, and you know the black death in the police eyes, that's 2/3, no 3/5 of a man anyway. So come on now.
I'm gonna tell you what she doing too. I'm gonna tell you what they second plan is. We're gonna pump the numbers all the way up, and then maybe they'll settle out of court, and I'll still end up with a few million.
Yeah, you know that's well.
Because she can't possibly think she gonna get 250 million, bro.
She
tried
to get 50.
Well, these lawyers, you gotta think she consulting with lawyers, right? So these lawyers, first of all, look at her. She don't got good lawyer money. So when lawyers work with somebody like her, that mean they know for sure on the back end they gonna
slide
sweet.
something. Yeah.
You understand? They probably gonna get half of that at least.
They gonna bust her head.
But exactly that's what I'm saying. But they know something. They know something, right?
Yeah.
Think about the enemy lines that he behind right now. He can't win. The stuff that he been saying, the people he been talking about, that community, they know he's not winning in court.
You're right.
Right.
You understand? It's a very bad chance that he will be able to avoid being sued for the stuff that he said, because in that same vein, he spoke out about the people that run every damn thing. Right. You understand? Mm-hmm. The lawyers, they know something. That's why they shooting for that high amount.
It's
they
a
know
very
something.
strategic move.
Yeah, they know something.
That was a chess move they played.
Yep.
They know something. Finish it out.
Put them in checkmate.
The interests of the child are priority. George Floyd's daughter is being traumatized by Kanye's West comments, and he's creating an unsafe and unhealthy environment for her.
Right. So we gonna play the clip where he spoke on it, because I feel like it's being blown out of proportion. Right. It says his daughter is being traumatized by Kanye West's comments, and he's created an unsafe and unhealthy environment for her. Now, I will say this. He probably shouldn't have said what he said. You understand? However, it's many people that then came out with conspiracy theories and all that
Right.
behind a whole lot of stuff in the world. And you know, when you able to be entitled to your opinion, I mean, that's what they say, you're entitled to your opinion, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people are very opinionated. People got different opinions. It may or may not be true. That's up to you to decipher and do your research or whatever the case may be, right?
Right.
But the mass majority of the world is not unbelieving that he didn't have a knee on his neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. Ain't that many people running with what Kanye West said any damn way. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not to the magnitude of, because of Ye's comments, my daughter is going to be psychologically affected, like $250 million worth of trauma from what he said right here, as opposed to everything else that it came behind the death of her father. Mind you, her trauma don't got nothing to do with you as the mother. You understand? But it's not even on that level. But let's see. Maybe it is. Maybe we wrong. Let's play the clip real quick. Play that clip.
One of the things that his two roommates said was, they want a tall guy like me. They want a tall guy like me. And the day when he died, he said a prayer for, 8 minutes. Mm-hmm. He said a prayer for 8 minutes. They hit him with the fentanyl. If you look, the guy's knee wasn't even on his neck like that. When he said mama is his girlfriend. They said he screamed for his mama. Mama was his girlfriend. It's in the documentary. But something that hit me, that fucked me up when I was watching the documentary, and it said, they want a tall guy like me. When I looked at that image of him, this tall black dude with the bald head, he reminded me of somebody else. Who you think he reminded me of?
Virgil.
He reminded me of Virgil. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna cry in front of y'all because that's how they get me, right?
Right.
But I know that we lost him.
Right. So basically, he tied George Floyd into other conspiracy theories, right? It was a dude, I believe he was in the fashion designer world. He very known and popular in that realm.
That right.
This dude named Virgil, right? He just mysteriously died out of nowhere, right? So Kanye West's theory is basically, they out here killing people with fentanyl and stuff like that. So he tied George Floyd into that. Like, really? His knee was on his neck, but really they hit him with the fentanyl.
So he ain't saying.
So he not saying that
they didn't murder
like
him.
the other narratives
They
that's
said
being
they
put
married
out, like the nigga was crazy and on drugs,
Right.
on crack.
Yeah.
You understand?
He
And
ain't
all
saying
of that
that.
nonsense.
He ain't even saying it.
He's saying they still killed the nigga.
They targeted him.
Just not how y'all think. Not what they put out there. They did something else besides the knee on the neck. That's basically what he's saying.
Right.
But it's amazing how our people, your brother, your neighbor, you understand? Say something, and it may not be, at the end of the day, when nobody there. No, not his daughter, his baby mama, his mama, his uncle, auntie, his cousin, was none of them there when he left.
You're right.
You see what I'm saying? None of them was there. For real. So at the end of the day, nobody really know what's true or not. So people gonna be entitled to their opinion. He not negating the fact that they killed the man. He not negating the fact that a knee was on his neck, but he's saying it's not what they making it seem. It was something else that brought it to the extreme that it went to. But
Hey, the media is twisting it because the media will speak. They be like, well, Kanye West said that George Floyd died by fentanyl. So how you think everybody gonna take it if they didn't watch what he said?
Right.
They gonna take it like, man, sue them.
Because they
sue him because he's saying that he was a drug addict. That's how they take it. So it was all crafty how the media, like, I'm pretty sure it's a lot of people. Like, remember, they took it right down.
Yeah.
a lot of people didn't even get to see what he actually said and actually get to hear it. Because when you hear it, you be like, oh, I understand what he's saying. He's saying the police killed him.
Right.
That's crafty, man.
It gets to rock 1916 real quick. So, you know, we had people say the darndest thing, especially Ye, right? He don't really got much discipline over his mouth. He's not really wise as a serpent. You know what I'm saying? Right. Some stuff he too blunt or he phrase it the wrong way. Nevertheless, a lot of stuff that he be saying is true. You know, it is what it is. And we not taking sides or nothing like that, but we understand when it come to your people, you supposed to have a level of, you know, mercy. You know what I'm saying? Like, trying to use his brother as a come up like that. You not even his wife. You not somebody that, like, if you won a $250 million lottery when George Floyd was alive, George Floyd wouldn't have benefited off of it. You understand?
Right.
His daughter wouldn't have, but he wouldn't have benefited from it.
Damn.
He is the subject at hand. He's the one that suffered the death. So you trying to come up off of his suffering, his death. No. Come on, man. But read what you got.
Sirach, chapter 19, verse 16.
Read.
There is one that slippeth in his speech, but not from his heart.
Right. So he didn't have the intention. You could tell he didn't have the intentions of traumatizing a brother, daughter. You understand? But nevertheless, you putting it out like that on that platform or whatever, he should have been more mindful of how he put that out there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, that wasn't his intentions. Right? Read on.
And who is he that have not offended with his tongue?
Right. We all done had our opinions about stuff. It was wrong. You know, we took it to the extreme and whatnot. We got to be considerate of that, man. Like, not everything is worth a damn lawsuit. You understand?
Right.
But all you doing at the end of the day, gets right 34 and 23. All you doing at the end of the day is, you know, hurting your people. Now, I will say this. I don't know with Kanye West being the richest black man in American history, I don't really know what his plans is for the black community. He talk a good talk, but he never really get into any details or specifics. But let's just say that he did have plans on establishing a community like a Black Wall Street, or, you know what I'm saying, setting up plants and hiring brothers and sisters, or, you know, whatever the case may be. Like, at the end of the day, you're pulling away from, because the brother funds is going to deplete. He lost his deal with Balenciaga. I'm broke. You know, that country contributed to a couple billion of his net worth, if I'm not mistaken. Right? He already getting banned from all these other places, these avenues where he made money. You understand? You imagine all the other lawsuits that he dealing with. Like, it's finna be a bag with holes. You didn't step into another realm of the curses, buddy.
Damn.
Talking about the ish community. You see what I'm saying? So read what you got. Read that real quick.
Sirach, chapter 34, verse 23.
Bring it out.
When one buildeth.
Right. When one buildeth, like, yeah, he became a billionaire. Come on.
And another pull it down.
And someone of your own people, crab in a bucket. Give me some of that. Give me a quarter bill off for you real quick, since you slipped in your speech. You understand? Read on.
What profit have they then but labor?
Right, it's unprofitable. It's unprofitable. You're not helping anybody in the grander scheme of things. You understand? It's only making your people more of a spectacle. The ish community, they not finna do that to each other. You ain't finna see a Jewish person sue another Jewish person for $250 million over a damn thing. You understand? You just not. They got brotherly love amongst their nation with they little wicked ass. But with us, you understand? This is what we do to one another. It don't make sense. it's amazing. It's an astonishment. You was gonna say something else?
Hey, that's how you know Kanye was right, man. They'll hit you from both sides. They'll get your people to turn against you, and they'll shut you down.
Right.
But I wanted to say something like, this is how you know the black woman is wicked as hell. She controlling that child. She telling that child, you hurt. Damn. Just like we heard with the dude brought the food, the McDonald's food to his kid.
Right.
And the woman threw it down and said, well, you got all the other kids. No. This woman right here, this black woman is destroying the young child. It ain't Kanye didn't do nothing. That girl don't know what she had to eat yesterday.
You know what this made me think about? 50 Cent and his son.
Exactly.
Because the 50
Perfect
Cent,
example.
Yeah, 50 Cent was, I forgot how many thousands of dollars he was giving his baby.
6,000.
No. Before that.
Before that.
No, the reason why it got to that amount because she took it to court to get more.
Yeah, I think she was getting like
and the
10
court
or
was
something.
like, hell no, he giving too much.
Right.
And they gave that amount. You
Right.
understand?
I think it was like 10,000.
Yeah, he was giving more than that, huh?
Right.
Okay, 10,000 a month. So he was giving 10,000 a month. She took it to court to get more. Damn. And the court was like,
hell no.
You owe prison this nigga.
Really, nigga?
Bringing it down to 6,700.
Stay in your lane.
Stupid.
So you got to think of the power of the black mother when it comes to the impressionable black child whose father is not in the household. It's like you can paint them to be the biggest supervillain in the world.
Right. And we went over that thing with the one light-skinned brother. The dude, he said their mom was teaching him that his daddy was bad. And then he finally met his dad, and he knew that his mom was lying to him the whole time.
Right.
And that break up the whole
I
relationship.
gotta give my mama some credit. Right. Like she ain't never do that.
Right.
She ain't never give me no false narrative about my daddy and saying he this and he that and this why this. It would never like that. You know, even though my daddy was 450 miles away, I only seen him a few weeks out of the year or whatever. She ain't never make him seem like the villain. You know what I'm saying? But that's what a lot of bitter baby mamas do.
And hey, believe it or not, she was, like you said, if George Floyd was still alive, she would have been doing that to him. Your daddy ain't nothing. Your daddy this and that. And like you said, he wasn't going to get that money if he was alive. It was something that said about him. If he survived like Rodney King did, he wasn't getting nothing. He gonna get $1 million. She would have took half of it. Or more than half of it.
Damn.
All right. So, all praise to the Most High. So, look, y'all. We out for yay, man. Look, I need everybody to like, share, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Spread the word about the show, man. Today we going into the truth about the crack era. All right, so don't go nowhere. We gonna give y'all a quick little break, and we gonna come back and we gonna attack this topic. All right, so tune in to Let's Talk Truth.
Adjacent to Father's station, right next to Satan and sin lies. They call me Raymond. Can't grow complacent, my heart is racing. The Lord is waiting. I follow in His footsteps. It's not complicated. I've been living in this hell, so I gotta make it. This could be my only chance, so I gotta take it. Brothers been tripping for too long, so I've been walking face up through the mud with my boots on. And I'll be damned if I do wrong. I just hate when the news on. Cause what I'm saying is depression and oppression all up in their face. And they wanna give up on a day by day. Just know the Lord, He is making a way. So if you keeping the faith, hold your head high, it's gonna be okay. And I don't even feel no more. My people getting killed, it's getting really real. And they don't wanna live, oh no.
when everything is going south. Remember who you are, pick up your crown. How people feel no more. Feel no pain when they come no more. Do you feel how I feel when I'm feeling, feel this hard? No. I don't even feel no more. My people getting killed, it's getting really real, and they don't wanna live on, no. It's cause of the sin, why we always gotta die on the block. Why our sisters always gotta cry on the block. The mother feel the pain when I walk, and she hates how I talk. Why you talk like that? Feel no more.
Let's talk truth. Alright, all praise to the Most High. Finna get into the topic, man. The truth about the crack era. Alright, let's put up
Yes, sir.
Wikipedia link. What is the crack era? When was it? What was it about? Let's see. Read that.
The crack epidemic in the United States. The crack epidemic is a surge of crack cocaine use in major cities across the United States, predominantly in between the early to late 1980s and the early 1990s. This resulted in a number of social consequences, such as increasing crime and violence in America inner city neighborhoods, as well as resulting backlash in the form of tough on crime policies.
Scroll down. Go to history.
The name crack first appeared in the New York Times on November 17, 1985. Within a year, more than 1,000 press stories had been released about the drug. In the early 1980s, the majority of cocaine being shipped to the United States was landed in Miami.
Port of Miami, come on.
And originated in Colombia.
Colombia. When you read a lot of these articles, they cast a lot of the blame on Asher. You understand? They came
right.
They don't really, because you got to remember the powers that be. Think about that terminology, the powers that be. Like, you can't just put me in it like it's my fault too. You understand? This stuff came from Colombia. It came from them.
We know
it came from them, but how did we get here?
Man.
We don't want to talk about that, though. We keep reading.
Traffic through the Bahamas and Dominican Republic. Soon, there was a huge glut of cocaine powder in these islands, which caused the price to drop by as much as 80%. Faced with dropping prices for their illegal product, drug dealers made a decision to convert the powder to crack, a solid smokable form of cocaine that could be sold in smaller quantities to more people. It was cheap, simple to produce, ready to use, and highly profitable for dealers to develop. As early as 1981, reports of crack were appearing in Los Angeles, Oakland, San Diego, Miami, Houston, New York, and in the Caribbean.
I ain't gonna lie. I want to know who invented crack.
Listen, you had the same thought. Look, officer, because look, let's slow it down for a minute. It's not a Negro that did that.
Nah, we didn't do that.
Because think about it. You showed a video earlier when we popped on. You showed a video. This man had tubes hanging out this glass. Niggas ain't inventing. No. The white man said, hold on, I'm going to show you what crack cocaine is. Because we love that shit. But y'all use this. Let me show you how to cook this up. Because they cooked it up in a lab somewhere. And they showed a nigga how to smoke it.
Exactly.
Damn,
ain't no
son,
nigga
where'd you find
no
this?
way. I know we wicked as hell, officer, but we ain't no way We created the crack and the pipe to smoke it in.
You got a good way. It's a lot of ingredients with making crack. You got baking soda. You got all.
It's really not.
I mean,
it's just 3.
But you got to think about it. Them 3 ingredients black people ain't thinking to put together.
That's only white people that can't cook. They threw some shit in there. Cause niggas know how to cook, man. We know who putting baking soda in a pot, bruh. Who doing it?
Nobody.
No. Ain't no way. Look, where did it come from, officer? It came from the white man. At the end of the day. Message. Yeah. Somebody call in right now. Prove me. Let me know if I'm wrong. Call in right now. You see the number. Call in.
Keep reading.
Initially, crack had higher purity than street powder. Around 1984, powder cocaine was available on the street at an average of 55% purity for $100 per gram, equivalent to $261 in 2021. And crack was sold at average purity levels of 80+% for the same price. In some major cities such as New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Houston, and Detroit, 1 dose of crack could be obtained for as little as $2.50.
Damn. So, what you see, basically, when it's a drought, now I ain't gonna lie, black people did come up with the remix strategy. It's a term called remix. So it's called re-rock. You understand? You re-rock it, you add more layers on it, so it'll weigh up the same, but it's way more fluff than the actual substance. You understand? That's what dropped the purity levels of the crack rock.
Right.
So a lot of people they'll be hitting crack, and that's the stuff that make people bug out because it's chemicals more than the cocaine plant. You understand? It's the chemicals that's forming the rock. So when black people did do that, you know, when the drought hit and the people that the demand is only getting higher, we gotta, you know what I'm saying? We gotta re-rock it. We gotta, you know, all of that. So black people did do that. All right,
Look how many cities is in office.
Yeah.
From Miami to New York.
Yeah.
To the west. Come on now.
Right.
They dropped that shit off, man.
To the south.
For sure. We're going to get into it. Keep reading.
According to the 1985-1986 National Narcotics Intelligence Consumers Committee report, crack was available in Atlanta, Boston, Detroit, Kansas City, Miami, New York City, Newark, San Francisco, Seattle, St. Louis, Dallas, Denver, Minneapolis, and Phoenix. In 1985, cocaine-related hospital emergency rose by 12%, from 23,500 to 26,300. In 1986, these incidents increased 110%, from 26,300 to 55,200. Between 1984 and 1987, cocaine incidents increased to 94,000. By 1987, crack was reported to be available in the District of Columbia and all but 4 states in the United States.
Right. So basically, crack spread everywhere, right? Slipped through all the cracks. Isn't that amazing?
Right.
Yup.
All right, so scroll down. Scroll down to the black history. Yeah, effect on the African race.
Even the cracks that got in prison.
Read that.
Due to racial segregation and discriminatory practices by real estate agents.
Right, white flight, redlining, etc. Go ahead.
African American families were largely located in low-income inner-city neighborhoods. This led to crack impacting African American communities far more than others.
We might have to do that one next week. The truth about racism in real estate. But it said this led to crack impacting African American communities far more than others. That go into what you pulled earlier about the crafty council. It was always a target to the black community. We're going to get into that. We're going to show it. All right, but keep reading.
Between 1984 and 1989, the homicide rate for black males aged 14 to 17 more than doubled. And the homicide rate for black males aged 18 to 24 increased nearly as much.
So notice who crack is taking off the map. The young black man, the biggest threat to the United States of America in terms of them, ruling and oppressing. It's crazy. I was finna do a class the other night, but it got canceled, called Invest in the Next Generation. It's a reason why the scriptures say, he that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy. All it take is a generation with knowledge of history of what was done to them, how they fathers fell for it. You understand how God allowed it to happen, and basically how to reverse it.
Right.
How to not do what your fathers did, do what your fathers was supposed to do. You understand, and follow God and trust in God. Because knowing this, you understand this world is wicked. God can't wait to destroy it. He just waiting for you to come back to him. You understand?
Right.
So they know all we need is, because they was already, without God, we was scaring their ass. The Nation of Islam, Black Panthers, all of that, they had to kill them leaders. You understand? We was already the biggest threat to them. So what must we do? We must take out the next generation, the up-and-coming generation. Give them something to distract them. Give them something to turn against each other. Give them something to kill each other. You understand? Whether it be in the form of drug addiction, in the form of life sentences, or in the form of homicide. For real. We gonna read about it. All right, but read on.
During this period, the black community also experienced a 20 to 100% increase in fetal death rates.
In what?
Fetal death rates.
Killing the babies in the womb. You understand? A 20 to 100% increase in miscarriages. Because you want a dead rock so addictive, you want to smoke it with a baby in your stomach.
Damn.
Keep reading.
Low birth weight babies.
Right, you got the preemies. You understand? The crack babies coming out all deformed. You understand? For real, read on.
Weapons arrests.
Uh-huh.
And the number of children in foster care.
And the number of children in foster care. So, now, you read the sister, one of the pro-choice sisters that we actually ended up humbling down, she was saying that by her examining the children's lives that grow up in foster care, that's why we need abortion. I'm like, damn, so you telling me they living that bad in foster care, you basically can look them in their face and tell them you should have been killed, instead of being able to live your life and potentially still become a great inventor, life changer, savior for the community, despite coming up out of the conditions of foster care. You should have just been killed. You shouldn't have been brought into this life. Your life is so hard. That don't make no damn sense. But just the fact that she had that stupid thought, it was from the standpoint of seeing how hard a child's life is growing up in foster care, because you don't got no real foundation of love at all. You don't have no one that love you. People they don't know you. You understand? That nurture of a biological father and mother is absent, and you crave it. You see it on TV. You see it with other people in the neighborhood and at school, and it hurts. So this is a thing that crack contributed to, right? Foster care, the foster care system. Go ahead.
The United States remains the largest overall consumer of narcotics in the world as of 2014.
Right. That make me think about what we was talking about last night. Right? America is portrayed as this rich, delicate, Christian, you understand, country, but what they got inside their cup?
Drugs.
The largest consumer of narcotics in the world. America is bugged the hell out.
That's like,
But you coming to America.
You know,
You know, if you finna like date a woman and she dating a whole, she got she on a whole lot of pills, you gonna be like, that girl crazy. So, like America, like you said, it's bugged the hell out here. Everybody is on drugs out here.
It's crazy, and most of the drugs come from out of the country.
Damn.
We got most of it. Colombia, Mexico, they growing the plants everywhere. But we got it all here.
And it's not even
That's
really,
crazy.
it's not, and they making it seem like it's just our people, which our people isn't involved in it, but it's really them setting they corporate, they setting this all up. They organizing all this. They the one providing the planes, they providing all that for them.
Damn. Because it's get Psalm 64 verse 6. Think about what we just read. And it's this paragraph, golly, it's so much. Read that paragraph real quick. Read the last couple sentences of the last paragraph.
All right.
And then read the next paragraph.
As a result.
No. Scroll up. All right. Read the during this period.
Okay. During this period, the black community also experienced a 20 to 100% increase in fetal death rates, low birth weight babies, weapons arrests, and the number of children in foster care. The United States remains the largest overall consumer of narcotics in the world as of 2014.
So the black community experienced increasing fetal death rates, low birth weight babies, weapons arrests, number of children in foster care. Read the next paragraph.
A 2018 study found that the crack epidemic had long-run consequences for crime, contributing to the doubling of the murder rate of young black males soon after the start of the epidemic, and that the murder rate was still 70% higher 17 years after crack's arrival.
So you got to think, this was like this right here, this thing right here can affect them for generations.
Right.
The impact that it's gonna have when it touch down, it's not gonna be temporary. It's not gonna be like a little 2-3 year pandemic. This thing is going to affect the people are gonna be born with this in their system. You understand? Think about that. That's some deep. That's some.
Damn.
Yeah, keep reading.
The paper estimated that 8% of the murders in 2000 are due to the long-run effects of the emergence of crack markets, and that the elevated murder rates for young black males can explain a significant part of the gap in life expectancy.
The what?
The gap in life expectancy between black and white males.
So now, get Psalm 64 verse 6. All of this was by design. Remember what we just had come out of, right? 1969. Civil rights, Black Panther, all of that stuff, right? So in the 70s, and that's when the Israelites was first in the streets too.
Right.
So in the 70s, you got this whole black pride. We overcame. You know what I'm saying? Now we in the world and we living and you know, blah, blah, blah. And the black family was still intact. So what can we do? Because they're gonna we gonna get into it, but they're gonna increase. You understand? With pride and who they are, eventually they're gonna start to believe that they're gonna have a unity already. The bones came together with, you know, understand, the flesh, right? They're gonna have a unity. So all they will be missing is the ingredient of their true identity, you understand, and their heritage, which is God's laws. And we already see the Abba Bivens, the commandment keep, they started up. You understand? So they calculating all this in their mind like, oh, nah, hell nah. We got to do something about this because our kingdom is coming to an end. They didn't made it up out of the great phenomenon of slavery, and they unified. You understand? So what can we do to cause them to become their own worst enemy, increase their mortality rate, divide the household, divide the community, Divide every damn thing. You understand? Divide their brain in half.
Right.
You understand?
Damn.
Have them born with problems, born with psychotic issues. You understand? And trauma that run through the genes and all. Listen, read what you got.
Psalms chapter 64, verse 6.
Listen to me.
They search out iniquities.
They search out sin. They search out evil. You understand? To cause and to inject into the black community. They search it out. Come on.
They accomplish a diligent search.
They accomplish. So they don't just, hey guys, what are we going to do? They accomplish this. They put the fuel in the jets. They landed in Colombia. They landed in Nicaragua, whatever. And they brought it back. And they put it on the street. And they said, here's the formula, here's the recipe. They accomplished it. You understand? They accomplished a diligent search. Come on. You got to think. It's a lot of things in this world, a lot of drugs, right? But we need one that's going to take them out. Like heroin is strong. You understand? Heroin got its effects, but it's not ripping the community apart. You understand? Mm-hmm. We need something. I know it's something out there that could do it. They accomplished that diligent search. Read on.
Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep.
Right. The inward thought of every one of them is deep. Meaning what? They not just looking to destroy your community for a year. You understand? I'll bomb your community. Y'all can rebuild it in a matter of 5 years. What must I do to destroy their community for an extensive period of time, beyond where we can actually fathom? I know for the rest of my lifetime, we ain't got to worry about the niggas gathering together, rising up no more. You understand? They accomplished their diligent search. If we give them this highly addictive, what they call it, controlled substance, we give them this highly addictive controlled substance. You understand?
Right.
They gonna be out of control for a very long time. Think about the catch-22. And it's in there. It's in there too. Dang, I don't want to jump the gun too much. All right, keep reading. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I was
gonna say, and then you add to it, they give you, you had Ronald Reagan, and then they give you your first black president, Bill Clinton, and he do the 3-strike rule with Joe Biden. So now now you flip. Now is the most, all the arrests increase.
Yeah.
Oh, now you addicted. Oh, now let's make it a law. You
and
can't
not just
this.
arrests, but
no, all the
long sentence, the football numbers.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, we gonna get into that.
Deep thoughts.
Like this stuff is deep, man. This some deep stuff. Y'all don't understand how deep your enemy mind runs as it pertains to destroying you.
And we trying to show them this is they mapped this out, y'all. We saying little words that y'all, they had this shit planned.
Deep.
You know, niggas can't think 2 days ahead.
Lord?
Nah, they man, we can't think, we like, okay, a week from now we're gonna do this and then it changes up. No, they said a week from now we're doing this, a month from now, years from now, we're gonna have this in place. And it went through.
Damn.
It went through. And look what the Negroes at now. Damn.
All right, read on.
Verse 7.
No. On the article. Wikipedia.
Right. Crack cocaine use and distribution became popular in cities that were in a state of social and economic chaos, such as New York, Los Angeles, and Atlanta, and particularly in their low-income inner-city neighborhoods with African-American concentrations. As a result of the low skill levels and minimal initial resource outlay required to sell crack, systematic violence flourished as a growing army of young, enthusiastic inner-city crack sellers attempt to defend their economic investment.
Ooh, this is so heavy, bro. It's so deep. So, look, I remember when I was 14. That was the age where I decided to start hustling. Reason being because you going to school, 9th grade, that's when, you know, some people be 15, 16, 17, 9th grade. I was 14. All right, so I was 14 in 9th grade. In the 9th grade where I was living at, that's the first grade where you can wear whatever you want every day. It's no more uniform, right? So me, I'm one of the people, I don't like wearing the same thing twice. So you going to school, you amongst these high privileged people that got these expensive, nice clothes, the nice shoes, all the retros, the polos, the this and the that, and etc. You understand? Now, your mama, your daddy, them can't afford that. You understand? You can't get hired on nowhere. You 14. You don't got no resume. You ain't got no experience. You're not even old enough for most people to hire you. So what do you do? Now, mind you, the materialistic society with social media, music, all of that is what fueled us to be so invested in being fresh and worried about how we dressing every day, instead of worrying about how much we know, how much knowledge we have. That's what we should have been worried about. How many books have we read this week?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what we should have been worried about, right? I wish I was worried about that more so than what I was worried about when I was in school. I wish I was in the library more than at the damn at Dillard's. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But anyway, nonetheless, when you don't got nothing to do in the community, you understand? Like, you know, we gonna hoop, we gonna play football or whatever, but everybody ain't gonna be good at that.
Right.
Like, if all you got in the community is sports, you understand there's nothing, no real activities, nobody is giving knowledge and making it fun, and it's not, you know, it's not much to do, and you just want to be fresh, what you gonna do? You gonna find ways to get money. You gonna find ways to get, you know, to find ways to hustle. And crack did not have an age limit on who could sell it. Right. You understand? And what would happen is the big drug dealers, to stay out of the way, they would put the crack in the hands of the young people. They knowing that they got this brick for this much and they gonna make this much profit off the brick, but we put it in the hands of the young men. Look, you gonna make $100 a day. The drug dealer making thousands, but the young man making $100 a day. What? Damn. I'm finna bleed the block.
He look like he done won then.
You me? I'm finna bleed the block. For real. So, mind you, 14, 15, 16 on the street making $100 a day. Some making more than that. You jumping fresh. You getting all the females. You got everything you want at a young age. So now you defending that. You like, what? You ain't finna, nah, ain't no, you know what I'm saying? Crack whacking, no, hell no. Crack put these clothes on my back.
Eat what you want to eat.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Like you go to college.
This how we eating. This how we eating. So now you got the drug wars in the community. You got, you know what I'm saying? Man, I'm telling you, this stuff go deep. They play it on your poverty. You understand? Get that real quick in Proverbs chapter 30 and verse 9. This, I'm telling you, man, the inward thought of every one of them is deep. They, through television, through music influence and stuff like that, they made a lot of us materialistic. You understand? And desiring the wrong things. Or even lustful. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
How do we get to this status? All the rappers rapping about balling and you know, this is the way we ball.
Right.
Yeah, we like the floss. Yeah, my diamond. Like, what I grew up listening to. I want to ball. All the rap lyrics I'm writing when I'm 8, 9 years old about balling. I remember I made a song. I performed it in the talent show in the 4th grade. I ain't got money. I ain't got money. I ain't got money. I ain't got money, but I'm finna get it. I'm 9 years old. How I'm gonna get some money? Why do I go to the store? I can't buy nothing when I walk through the door. I hope my mama got some cheese, though, because I want me some hot Cheetos. Real talk. They're my lyrics.
Bars.
9 years old. For real talk. So, in our mind, like as a young man, and it's presented to you, all you gotta do, put this in the bag, sell it, people gonna come to you. You gonna put money in your pocket.
Right.
Man, read what you got. Or what I say?
Proverbs chapter
read
30,
that.
verse 9.
Come on.
Lest I be full and deny thee, and say, who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor.
Lest I be what?
Be poor.
Lest I be poor. A condition of poverty breeds a certain mentality, right? So Solomon is saying if I was rich, if I had too much, I could deny the Lord. You understand? That would make me too high-minded. I would feel like a God on earth because I got too many possessions, right? But if I'm too poor, what I'm going to do?
And steal. And take the name of my God in vain.
So if I'm too poor, I'm going to compromise my morality. You understand? I'm going to go to certain measures because I got to eat. I'm going to do certain things where I wouldn't normally do. You know what I'm saying? Like selling crack to my aunties, selling crack to my mama. That's how you know, like, we was in some terrible conditions, bro. Like, you selling drugs to your people that raised you.
Right.
Blood family, immediate family. That's how important it is for you to have them shoes, have a car, have them rims, have that sound system. You understand? And be ready to die about it. Slinging iron about it. The white man, they knew. I'm telling you,
Hey, let me get a scripture then.
Go ahead.
Go to Micah chapter 2. And let's read verse 1. Micah chapter 2 and verse 1.
The book of Micah chapter 2 and verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it.
So the Bible is showing you here that they work iniquity on their beds, meaning somebody dreamed of the crack rock. Some white man dreamed of this thing. Deep sleep was like, I got an idea. And came up with cocaine and crack to sell, to get to the Negro to sell in the hood, to kill each other. Read it from the top again.
Whoa.
But the Bible shows you that destruction is going to come to them. Those that had this mindset. Come on.
That devise iniquity.
That devise iniquity. They came up with a plan to do something evil. Come on.
And work evil upon their bed. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in their power of their hands.
And it's the crazy thing. It's in their power. They make the laws on it. We can do it. And then once we get it started, let's put a law on it.
Wow.
Let's put a law on it. You can't do nothing now. And that's what we see, man. These wicked people, they deep as hell. They dream about it. They dream about evil stuff. Right now, somebody dream about something evil to do to you Negroes. Believe it or not.
All right. So let's drop this, man. We got to get to the video. A lot of the stuff that we're going to read is in the videos anyway. So let's get to the video, man. For real. So they can have some visuals to go along with the information that's coming out. Play that.
we will see large numbers of poor people, and specifically blacks, going to jail and to prison, and they will not have a chance.
In the early 1980s, the nation's slogan was clear: just say no.
Crack now has spread to almost every American city.
But what if I told you that there was more to the crack era than what the white mainstream news media let on? And that it went beyond Black and Latinx folks who simply needed to kick a drug habit. Today's baggage: how the war on drugs ravaged Black America. Once upon a time, in a not so far away and familiar place, the United States entered what became known as the crack era. During the early 1980s, a new drug somehow infiltrated low-income Black and brown communities, causing crime and chaos. It was called
crack cocaine. The problem is crack cocaine. Crack cocaine may deny these Black children a decent future.
Well, it turns out that your uncle, who always talks about the man, was right. Well, sort of. While crack did absolutely ravage some Black and brown communities, it wasn't that simple. The United States government and agents of the state were corrupt and had a hand in creating this dark time in America's history. Misinformation about crack cocaine and its users flooded airwaves and proved to be just as dangerous as the substance itself. Decades after the crack era has come and gone, its impact lives on. But before we fall any deeper into this rabbit hole, let's take it back to the beginning of this war on drugs, which is often dubbed America's longest war in history.
Please search for!
The federal government first banned the recreational use of a substance, opium, in the early 1900s. Then came the Prohibition era, which focused on alcohol. Shortly after, the feds began to track and vilify people who struggled with addiction, especially if they were Black. Fast forward to 1971, when Richard Nixon declared war.
America's public enemy #1 is drug abuse.
2 presidents later, Ronald Reagan not only carried on, but weaponized this anti-drug stance.
Drugs are menacing our society.
Though Reagan was the first president who promised to
make America great again.
But rather, he made things worse for low-income communities. In fact, at the time, the poverty rate grew faster in the first 3 years of Reagan's presidency than in any other time since the 1950s. Meanwhile, in another part of the world, the United States was funding an illegal war in Nicaragua, and drug smugglers were sending cocaine to the U.S. on U.S. planes. Somehow, the United States officials had...
So... before the war on drugs was the war for drugs. Damn. They don't talk about that though, but Rick Ross, the real one, the real freeway Ross,
right?
He exposed it. And Lord's willing, we might not get to it today, but I want to get to it. But you know, it is what it is. And I remember that interview when he was going into it or whatever. It was actually, I seen it on Vlad. He was talking about it on Vlad first. And was like, damn, like he know about it. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, it was a war for drugs. The United States had soldiers, military forces, literally fighting in Nicaragua, taking drugs. You understand? But that's what their God is. When they say God, in God we trust, it's an acronym for the 3 things they've always fought for: gold, oil, and drugs. That's what they've always fought for. That's what built their tender and delicate empire.
That's their God.
Right.
You understand? That is their God. So, but a lot of people don't know this information. How did it get here? They fought for it, literally. It was a war for drugs before the war on drugs. Play on.
No clue.
Whether the United States actually loaded up the planes with cocaine, or whether they just kind of turned their backs, right, and let the planes take off and go to the United States to land. The United States knew
that at the very least that cocaine was being flown in and just ignored it.
Stanley Nelson is an award-winning documentary filmmaker, MacArthur genius, and director of Crack, Cocaine, Corruption, and Conspiracy. He says that this rampant poverty and international scandal, which caused cocaine to flood the United States, was the backdrop in which the crack era took off.
The crack era seemed to come out of nowhere, somewhere in the early 80s. All of a sudden, everywhere in Harlem, people would be out on the street selling and using crack. Not only in Harlem, I remember, I was walking across 42nd Street and people were in doorways smoking crack.
In his film, Nelson walks viewers through various phases of the crack epidemic.
At first, we saw it in the African American Latinx communities. Then, we're like, oh my God, there's an epidemic. The politicians weren't talking about it. The media wasn't talking about it. The police were not stopping it. That's a big part of it.
Some dirty cops took money from drug dealers, or they took drug money themselves.
What would you steal? Money and drugs and guns, whatever was it.
And somehow this fact was left out of the media. Wonder why? And then there was a shift.
A local success story took a tragic turn this morning.
Maryland basketball star Len Bias died after overdosing on cocaine 2 days after he was drafted to the Boston Celtics.
It was like a political wet dream, because now all politicians, Democrats, Republicans, everybody was talking about the scourge of crack and the evil dealers who are dealing crack. It was crazily overblown.
And from the era emerged some dangerous myths about Black people.
First of all, there was the crackhead, just had given up their lives to crack and, would do anything for crack. Then there was a crack mama. That was, basically Black women. This woman had sold her baby for crack.
And an equally damaging falsehood, the crack baby.
Despite all the warnings, a growing number of babies are being born already addicted to cocaine.
They'll spend the rest of their lives suffering for the lifestyle of their mothers.
What would you do about pregnant women who use drugs and pass those drugs onto their babies?
The media played a huge part in making the public feel that crack was really the real threat and that treatment wasn't the answer, but jail.
And the federal government.
Esau is the damn devil,
man. Straight up.
Wow. Get that in 1 Samuel chapter 5, verse 73. This is amazing. So
this amazes me.
You fight for the drug, you put it on a plane, you come over here, you drop it off. You put it on a plane, you come over here, you drop it off, and then you say, Black crackhead, crack mama, crack baby, jail.
Go to jail. You're going to jail.
Wait, hold on. Who's the real crack mama? You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
Like, but it's crazy because the point is they have the power over the media. You understand? Meaning they control the narrative. So when you do that, when you put that on your TV screen, you never really experience crack. And you see on your screen crackheads and people, the stories about Brenda had a baby and all this and this and that. You seeing this is what's pushed on your TV screen. You demonize your own people. It's like, yeah, they need to go to jail. They need to be locked up forever. Look at what they doing. Look at what's happening to them, blah, blah. Right? But it was all popular persuasion. Read that real quick.
The book of 1 Esdras, chapter 5, verse 73.
Come on.
And by their secret plots.
By their what?
Secret plots.
The secret plot was crack. You understand? There's a plot to destroy the Black community, right? To get them, okay, what's the effects it could have? Increase the mortality rates in the womb. You understand?
Right.
It's going to lead to more babies dying before they make it out. And if they do make it out, they're going to be affected by the crack in their system, right? And then the increased mortality rates amongst Black teenage males. You understand? They murder rate, they homicide rates doubling and tripling, right? It was all a secret plot. Come on.
And popular persuasions.
And popular persuasions. So the secret plots and the popular persuasions work together to execute the next one. Read on.
And commotions.
And commotions. So the secret plot put crack in the community. The popular persuasion demonized the black community.
Mm-hmm.
They are the reason for the season. It's them, right? So now the commotion, we gotta lock their ass up. War on drugs.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
3 strikes. You understand? These things work together sequentially to destroy our people.
Right.
And it's in the Bible. Read it again.
And by their secret plots and popular
So
persuasions.
step 1, secret plots, popular persuasion. Step 2, the media. Go ahead.
And commotions.
And commotions. What do we, now that we got the people riled up and believing what we say need to be done to them, now that we can do it to them.
Message.
That's what they did to Christ. Remember? Because he was healing the people. He was teaching the people. Didn't nobody knowing him for doing nothing bad. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
But the Pharisees, when you read Matthew 27, it say they was able to persuade the multitude. You understand? Look at him. You think God letting him go through that for no reason? He's supposed to be the Son of God. He getting crucified. He's standing before the judgment seat. Man, this man is the devil. Y'all still believe in this man? Look at him. God is punishing him. They was able to persuade the multitude like, damn, it wouldn't make sense for him to be the Son of God and they finna put him to death. He would have too much power for that. He did something evil for God to let that happen. They not studying. They don't really know that is, prophecy being fulfilled. You understand? They don't understand that. So they was able to get persuaded by the people that had control over the narrative. That's what you see going on here with the crack, during the crack era. Finish that scripture.
They hindered the finishing of the building.
So by them doing that, they hindered the finishing of the building because what began 1969, like we said. That's when the people was already, we just came through the civil rights movement, right? So now the world is desegregated. Now we able to go to their schools and go in their stores and blah, blah, blah. Still being unified, knowing who the oppressor is and having pride amongst ourselves. Then you got the icing on the cake, not the Israelites hitting the streets, teaching them who they are. Like, oh no, hell no, we gotta hinder this. Just imagine if crack never came out, gangs never, you understand? Just imagine that. The truth we would have been like Zion and them. We would have grew up like
exactly right.
Our kids growing up now. It would have been over with. But the crack, it literally, the secret plot, the popular persuasion, the commotion, it literally hindered the building. You understand? It literally did. They executed. They accomplished that diligent search.
Damn.
For real. For real. All right. So it was another point that was in my head too. But go back to the video. We got a lot of stuff to cover.
Government's response to the war on drugs was clear. Lock them up and throw away the key.
They could come up with a new drug tomorrow, and we're going to go out there and do the same thing we're doing today. We ain't going to stop.
While chemically, powder cocaine, which was often used by white people, and crack cocaine, which was more accessible and believed to be used by black people, are practically the same, if you're caught using or selling either drug, the law says otherwise. During the crack era, the sentencing disparity was crazy. The rule was 100-to-1. So 5 grams of crack would land you with a 5-year mandatory minimum, but it would take 500 grams of cocaine to get the same sentence. Now, here's the kicker. Black people made up 82% of the folks convicted for federal crack and cocaine offenses, but only 30% of crack users. 62% of people convicted for crack offenses were low-level sellers or lookouts. Today, the number of Americans incarcerated for drug offenses went from 40...
Pause. So who are the low-level sellers and lookouts? The black teenage males. The young black men.
Right.
From 14 to 24. So they getting 5 grams.
Which only is worth about $500.
You getting 5 years minimum.
Esau.
That's
$500.
That's college.
Esau is,
You see what I'm saying? Think about it. His brother's been in the truth. When I was in the truth 5 years, that's when I became an officer of 50. You understand? Imagine all the work we did in that 5-year span. They taking a 5-year chunk off your life for being caught with 5 grams. That's like, let me see. I could probably fit 5 grams in this little bag right here. It'll be stuffed. But I could probably fit 5 grams in this little bag right here. You see what I'm saying? For real. 5 grams got you 5 years.
And they separated it from the cocaine and the crack.
As a young man, you don't even know what life is yet.
Man.
And you got more.
You only done spent 5 years of your life 3 times. You spent 3 times 5 years, and they been your 4th 5 years of your life behind bars. Now you institutionalized. You understand? Now you didn't enter into adulthood behind bars, so now your perception of reality is skewed. You understand? I'm telling, bro, it's deep, bro. This stuff go deep, bro.
I'm about to say it's deep too, because think about it. For there to work that way, what they trying to do is make slavery legal again. It's all back to the slavery. Like, well, we can put these niggas in jail.
13th Amendment.
Right. 13th Amendment. Okay, lock them up. Now we got a legal way to do this.
Now they got
and then you could be in there and you going to get the max 50 years for 5 grams, whatever the case may be.
Or you do the 5 to 10, you get out. You got a record.
Right.
You got
you got 2 more times.
You ain't getting no job. That's all you know. You going to do it again and bring your ass right back to the plantation.
Or you gonna start using it.
Bro, that's
a serious
that's some
cycle.
deep stuff right there.
Yeah.
Hey.
Serious cycle.
Revolving cycle.
That's why I know this is the truth. This is the only thing that's able to get us out of that.
Right.
This cycle. God's laws. Period.
That's right.
That's it. Finish that video out.
3,900 in 1980 to 443,200 in 2018.
With over 2 million people locked up, which is a 500% increase over the last 40 years, 1 in 5 incarcerated people is locked up for a drug offense. And being convicted of a felony can impact your voting rights, access to loans, and ability to get a job, among other factors. To say that the war on drugs filled our prisons and changed the trajectory of hundreds of thousands of people's lives would not be inaccurate. And Nelson reminds us that the war on drugs also changed the way that we look at policing.
The war on drugs was part of the fuel for local police to become militarized. And that's what we saw, over and over again in Ferguson and with the George Floyd protests, cops with body armor, and looking like something out of Star Wars. So that becomes part of our lives now. And a lot of it, not all of it, but a lot of it started, with the crack epidemic.
Decades after the crack epidemic is said and done, do you think that the forces that coalesced to create the period in time that we know as the crack era actually understood the implications of their actions?
I feel at this moment more and more that the United States knows what it is and knows what it does and knows that it's racist and doesn't care. I don't want to give America a pass anymore. African Americans, Latinx, and progressive people have to start there and then push for change.
The crack era vilified Black and Latinx people, and that's a fact. During this period in time, there was no solution other than jail. No consideration for how trauma and poverty could lead one to get involved with crack. No treatment for those who suffered from addiction. No discussion of a public health crisis, and certainly no empathy. While others may not remember this bleak period in time, we do. And Black America will never be the same.
In today's
Sheesh. All right, we got a call on the line. We got a call on the line. All praise to the Most High.
All right.
All right, caller, what's your name? Where you from?
All right, it's on you, Cap. Captain Ben. Hey, this Captain Ben Zion. Man.
Oh, praise
Shalom,
to the
shalom,
Most.
Cap.
Hey, I thought about you, man, with this topic. I thought about you too, man. What's saying, Christ bless.
Who they said they thought about me, man, when you're talking about crack? Who said that? Damn. So you think about crack, you think about Captain Ben Zion. Damn.
I repeat
Messed
it.
up, man. Hey, but no, for real, though, right quick, I don't want to take up a lot of y'all time, man, because y'all brothers going in, man. I'm tuned in, man. This is a very good subject. It's a very good subject that a lot of people don't talk about it. Politicians don't talk about it. The Christian pastor damn sure don't talk about it. It's how we ended up in this mindset that we're in today through the crack era, and how these people actually, man, they built prisons before they even had to. I like how you said that they before it was a war to get drugs before there was a war on drugs, and while there was a war to get these drugs, they was already building these prisons throughout the United States to house these young black men and Hispanic men before they even put the drugs over here, and before it even took off, they already had somewhere for them to go. And it's to the point now that hell, it's done went so wildfire that now they ain't got nowhere for the what they call nonviolent offenders to go anymore, because it spiraled out of their control of with the crack epidemic. And it's just crazy how these people, man, how they was always steps ahead of us coming out of slavery, which is why they would not allow us to read and write and to be educated in the English language, so they could be light years ahead of us. All right, but now we're catching up through the Word of God on what they've done to us, and this is a powerful topic y'all brothers are bringing out, man. So y'all keep doing what y'all doing. And it was something else I had, because I was a victim of that system too. I know in Tennessee, man, you get caught with anything over 0.5 grams, that was automatically 8 years in prison.
Damn.
All right, it was automatic. You know what 0.5 is? It's smaller than your fingernail. And if you got caught with anything 0.5 or over, it might have been 0.3, but it became a Class C felony, and you would go to prison. And if you didn't go to prison, you would be put on probation or house arrest. And as we said in Tennessee, man, probation and parole was always a trap for Negroes. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, this is a very powerful subject, man. I'm tuned in, I'm listening. As Officer Manuel say, you understand? Hey, it's powerful, man. Can y'all still hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all praise. You understand? It's powerful, man. So y'all keep doing what y'all doing, man. Y'all got any questions for me? I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I want to get one scripture. It wouldn't be right if I come on and get one
Bring
scripture.
it out.
I don't know if y'all like to know Psalms 83 right quick.
Bring it out. All praise to the Most.
Hello?
Yes, sir. We got you.
Oh, yeah, they said bring it out, Cap. I just said bring it out. Okay, I could barely hear. Yeah, bring it out. Give me Psalms 83, man.
The book of
These
Psalms.
people have, the war wasn't on, it's not on drugs. The war was on the black community, the Israelite communities throughout America. They had to find some way to destroy us. All right, they had to find some way to destroy us. And man, there's so many people in prison and in the graveyard just because of the drugs that they allowed to come over here because of the war they caused on us. And that's blood they got to pay for. You know what I'm saying? The Most High had us go through that for a reason, because we were disobedient. You know what I mean? So it's not their fault. It's our fault at the end of the day. But now we're able to see how we got in this hole and now we're understanding how to get out of this hole, man. We got to bring up subjects like this. You know what I'm saying? And one more thing before I bring out the scripture, man, what y'all saying about Nancy Reagan and Ronald Reagan? I don't know if it was in a documentary y'all was showing, but, man, that is damn true, man. I can remember being in the 4th grade. This was like 1989, maybe 88. I was in the 4th grade, and they used to make us all wear these green Just Say No shirts. Damn. All right, they was all green and had white letters and had Just Say No. And we had to stand up in our programs, and everybody hollered, Just Say No. You know what I'm saying? And Nancy Reagan was the one pushing Just Say No, while her husband was sitting up there letting the planes go, come in from Central America with the cocaine. Why? Because it was a triangle. It's a documentary on YouTube. Not YouTube. It may have been YouTube or Netflix. I was watching, and it was talking about it was a triangle trade. America will supply like Afghanistan and Saudi Arabia over there in that area, in what they call the Middle East. America was supplying them with food, and they was doing food trade with them. They was doing ammunition, bullets, weaponry, warfare. That's why when you look at some of these war, when they go to war and stuff, you see a lot of these bombs they find in the shell casing saying made in America. They are sending ammunition to like Afghanistan and all that. That's why they want to control those fields over there in Afghanistan, because Afghanistan them control opium. And opium is used, it's one of the ingredients to make drugs. So they were sending that opium to Nicaragua or wherever down in Colombia. And they were, and it's all a big ass trade system. You know what I'm saying? Just to get to the bottom of it. I forgot exactly how it goes. It's a documentary on Netflix. It might be called Crack, something like that. But it's a whole, it's like a triangle trade thing they got going on, man. And it's they supplying America with drugs, America supplying them with ammunition and different type of stuff like that, bro. It's all set up to destroy us all over the world, man. But look, let me get this scripture so I can let y'all get back to doing what y'all doing.
The book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 1.
Bring it out.
Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God.
So this then King David praying, man. This is the same prayer we got. We hope that the Lord, look, don't keep silent and don't be still. We want you to destroy these people. Why? Because it's going to tell you why. Come on.
For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that
why?
hate
Because
thee.
the enemies, hold on. Let's read it slow. Because they're enemies. We want the Lord to destroy these people, destroy this place, everything they've done, the bloodshed, the people who have been falsely incarcerated for drugs. You know, police was having cocaine in their pockets, and then they cars and squad cars and stuff like that, and they was playing drugs on people, sending people to prison for life. I got a partner right now named Joey, man. He got caught with an ounce of cocaine. They gave him 52 years in prison. He there right now. And they will not let him out over something, over control. As Emmanuel said, a controlled substance. This is a controlled substance. That's why, it's crazy. But we pray that the Lord will what? Make a tumult. I mean, because we pray the Lord will do that too, but we read the scripture. It says that our enemies make a tumult. All right? So we ask the Lord to destroy these people. Why? Because our enemies make a tumult. There you go. Come on.
And they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
And the people that are putting crack cocaine in our neighborhood, the people have created this drug epidemic, you know what I'm saying? They have lifted up their head. Why? They are prideful. They say, look at those niggas down there in the ghetto. Look at them. They sell crack to one another. They laugh at us. They mock us. You know what I'm saying? The police, it's like a cat and mouse game. It's like Tom and Jerry to them. They let the drugs come over here, but you better not get caught with it or you're going to go to prison. That's pride. That's why I said they lift up their head. They very prideful people. All right, come on.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
And that's what they did. They took crafty counsel. Before the prisons, the drugs got here, they already was building the prisons. All right, they was already building prisons. Come on.
And consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said.
They done this in privacy. They consulted against, they said, hey, we got to lock up these Negroes, as Officer Manuel was bringing out a while ago. You know what I'm saying? They already said, look, we got to lock up the target, the young black men and the Hispanic man. We got to market this drug to them, to their communities. Come on.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
It said because if they high as hell, they would not even think about who they are, where they come from, or what God they serve. You know what I'm saying? Because back in the 70s, we were starting to rise up. We were starting to remember who we were, what God we were trying to search. We was trying to search for God. That's why in that time, during that time, Malcolm X, them in the 60s and stuff, a lot of our people went to Islam. We were starting to figure out that, look, this white God they got us serving can't be the God. You know what I'm saying? So they had to do something in order to make themselves feel more to have a presence with God. So a lot of them went to Islam because they knew Christianity wasn't there, and that's why a lot of them is there now. They know Christianity ain't it, so they say this Allah got to be the God, but it's not the true God neither. You know what I mean? So keep reading.
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
All right, so that's why they put crack cocaine in our neighborhoods and opium and heroin. All this type stuff is basically so the name of Israel will not be remembered. The laws of God will not be remembered. We will not be thinking about the laws of God, but rather we'll be doing drugs, getting high, you know what I'm saying? And then we're going to make, we're going to give certain people prompts to advertise it, like rappers, like the movie directors, like Menace to Society, when that came out. I know y'all was young on the platform, but when Menace to Society, Boys in the Hood came out, those movies like that, or even when Scarface came out, that was the #1 movie right there. When Scarface came out in the 80s, with the 80s or the early 90s, when Scarface came out, that sent the black community out of control as far as dealing with cocaine. Everybody started to snort cocaine. Everybody wanted to be Kaiser Sose. Everybody wanted to be Al Pacino as he played in the movie. They wanted to be Tony Montana, and they wanted to do drugs and sell drugs. They wanted to be the mob bosses. You know what I'm saying? They started to change their names. They had cool rap names like, for example, Cool Mo D. Now, they didn't want no rap names like that no more. They started to make names like Noriega. They started to make names like the mob bosses' names, like give me some of them mob these rap names. They got like the straight Yo Gotti. You know what I'm saying? This is where they get these names from because they want to be drug bosses. They want to be mob bosses, and it influenced our community to a bit, man. It influenced our communities to the point that we couldn't see it. Everybody think it's cool for him to have a name like Yo Gotti, meaning that he was a drug dealer. He was destroying the community with drugs first. Now he's destroying it with his music. You know what I'm saying? But I can keep going on and on. Hey, I'm going to let y'all have the panel back, bro. Hey, y'all keep doing what y'all doing.
Hold on, Cap. Hold on. So, do you got any experience, that was directly either during the crack era impacted from the crack era that you could share with the people real quick, like a quick story of you actually experiencing firsthand, the crack era, the epidemic that they put out?
Yeah, I caught the end of it because I came up in the 90s. And when it was really hitting where I'm from, and I'm from a small town in Tennessee, you know what I'm saying? And it started trickling in the small towns late, you know what I'm saying, in the late 90s. But like in the major cities like New York and Chicago and Atlanta and even Memphis, it started happening in the late 80s. But the epidemic, I was catching the end of it, even though I'm talking about as far as the mass incarceration of it. Right now, I could say it still goes on, but it's not as bad as it used to because I don't know if it may be because I'm in the truth now. I ain't in the streets, but ain't nobody out there just really smoking crack like that. It's hard to find. As they tell me now, it's hard to find some good crack now because all the drugs the dope is messed up. Like you were saying earlier, it's so cut up. You know what I'm saying? They got so much stuff in it. It ain't no real need. It ain't no need. No real. What word I'm looking for? Demand for it right now. They're moving on to other things. They're moving on to more black people are starting to smoke meth now because it's making them higher longer. You know what I mean? They're even they even changing the laws on it now because it's affecting their community as well with cocaine and meth. All right, so now they're changing the laws. Now they're trying to down there legalize it, saying we're not gonna give harsh sentences for it no more. Why? Right. Because the harsh sentencing has spilled over to their children. But as far as coming up in the 90s, I got the tail end of it. I grew up around hustlers That's all they did. I learned probably how to cook crack when I was in high school. You know what I'm saying? I can remember being around in Memphis. In Memphis, I used to go to Memphis every summer with one of my best friends. And we'll go down there and spend the 4th of July weekend and stuff like that with his family in Memphis. And it was he had one cousin, I ain't gonna call no names, but he was a major dealer down there. And we used to sit around. He used to take us to the projects with him, and he would be cooking kilos at one time and have us watching out. You know what I'm saying? Watching the door, holding the guns and stuff for him, and like, don't let nobody in, young nigga. Let somebody in, bro. Man, we can get killed. But he cooking kilos of dope at one time in pickle jars and stuff like that. I used to see that type stuff. You know what I'm saying? I done seen people get killed over, crack. People get robbed over crack. I done seen how the police, they said when Ronald Reagan came, I said Nixon or somebody declared the war, then Ronald Reagan stepped up the war. He started to lock us up for it. And I seen that, when they came out with drug task force. I remember there was no such thing as no drug task force or a gang task force in the small town where I'm from. And all they had was people going to jail for fighting, and somebody might get killed in it, every now and then over a woman or something like that. But when they declared war on drugs, that's when you had programs like DARE. I can remember being in the 5th, 6th grade. They had all the kids in a DARE program, DARE. It was black and red, and they dared to keep kids off drugs or something like that. It used to go. It was right after Just Say No, and this stuff was all planned. Looking back at it, you know what I'm saying? It was all planned to keep us incarcerated. It was a mass incarceration going on, locking us up for a little bitty controlled substance that they allowed to get over here. You know what I mean? I hope I answered your question.
Hey,
Yes,
all
sir.
praise to the Most High. Hey, we appreciate you calling in, Cal. You need to do it more often, if you don't mind, sir.
Just pop up, too.
But,
Yes, sir.
Hey, all praise to the Most High, man. Hey, I was just down here. I was just listening, man. I'll be tuned in and listen to your radio show a lot. A lot of times I don't call because I be doing something. But I was talking about this. I said, man, let me call and say something, man, because it's a very powerful topic.
all praise to the Most
All
High. Well, hey,
praises.
Shalom, Most High, and Christ bless you, Cal. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Hey, one thing I want to say too, man. Now I thank the Lord for this truth and for Him waking me up and taking me out of there. Because if it wasn't for this truth, man, ain't no doubt in my mind I'd probably be dead or in prison right now. You know what I'm saying? Because all my partners that I roll with, coming up and learning to sell to hustle with, hey, they in prison. They in federal prison. Some of them dead. So I thank the Lord for waking me up when He, when He chose to do that. He woke me up, and now I'm out on the streets, and I'm now an advocate, and I stand against drugs. I stand against the gangs. I stand against anything that goes against God's laws.
That's
right.
That's right. All praises, Cal.
Yeah, so I thank the Lord for that right there, man. So, hey, y'all, I appreciate y'all letting me have these few little minutes, man. So, hey, y'all keep doing what you're doing. I'm tuned in. Most High in Christ bless.
Most
High in Christ bless.
Fire.
Hey, I just had a quick scripture. Give me Psalms 10 and 9, just to land back on what Cap said, because, they really did a number on us. Yes, we the one was distributed to each other whenever it was put in our community, but, hey, your enemy set this all up, and it was all to destroy you. Read what you got.
The book of Psalms, chapter 10, verse 9.
Read.
He lieth in wait.
Who is it talking? Who is that he? It's talking about the wicked. The wicked, they lie in wait. Read.
Secretly as a lion in his den.
Read.
He lieth in wait to catch the poor.
He lieth in wait to catch the poor, because our people, like what Cal was talking about, or like what you was bringing out earlier about how our people was poor, and guess what? They knew that was a quick come up. I can become a millionaire now. You can make hundreds of dollars a day. You can make thousands of dollars a day. Read on.
He doth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net.
Into his what?
Into his net.
That was all for a trap. Now they put you in that net. They put you in that prison. Read on.
Verse 10. He croucheth and humbleth himself, that the poor may fall by his strong ones. He hath said in his heart, God hath forgotten. He hideth his face.
And that's a thing that the so-called white man, our enemies, what the Bible calls our enemies, the wicked, You know, they think that God forgot about this. God has not forgotten about this. Justice is going to come. Right now, it's just being revealed. You know, like that's why it's very important to make sure if you listening, you used to do that, hey, wake up, come out of it, you know?
Hey, all praise to the Most High. What's the next thing we had? Was it the crack babies? What was next? All right, yeah, play that real quick. Well, no, we can skip that. What was after that? What was after that? The crack babies? He said, yeah.
Yeah, he said that was.
All right, yeah, get Exodus chapter 1 real quick. So one thing I want to talk about, I want to hit on real quick. Of course, we read it in the Wikipedia or whatever, but basically the black population control plot within it. Basically the scheme to kill off the next generation of blacks, whether it had been by murder in the womb, the miscarriages that would come from the woman smoking crack, or the baby being born a crack baby with the stuff in their system and growing up jacked up or whatever the case may be. Now they sensationalized. Am I saying that right? Sensationalized.
Right.
They sensationalized the narrative of the crack babies. You understand? Nevertheless, it was a real thing, and it only reflected that they are the spiritual Egypt that the Bible talk about. Read Exodus chapter 1, verse 9.
Exodus chapter 1, verse 9. And he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we.
So remember, like we was talking about earlier, this goes back to the point in history where black people hit a milestone, bruh. We overcame. We went through the civil rights to being hosed down in the street, the dogs sick on us. You understand? Doing everything. The lynchings, the public, massacres, all of this stuff to discourage us from coming together and just falling back into submission to the white man. We overcame that. You understand? We overcame that, and it showed that we were stronger than them. It ain't no other nation on the earth been through what we've been through and would have made it to that point and jumped all them hurdles.
Right.
Without the true understanding of God even having came yet in its fullness. You understand?
Right.
So you gotta imagine the fear that they put in their heart. That's what you're reading about what happened in Egypt. We didn't let these Hebrews come in amongst us. They already saved our life because they was smart. Remember, it said that Joseph taught the Egyptian senators wisdom. They already smarter than us. Now they in our land and they multiplying. Like they adding up. It's only more and more and more of them. And they different than us. You understand? They got more sauce. They got more talent. You understand? Eventually, the people going to gravitate to them, and they're going to be able to overthrow us. You understand? People going to rather be in subjection to them.
Right.
Then that's how the Egyptian man was looking at it. But we wasn't on that, though. But that's how the Pharaoh was looking at it. Read on.
Come on. Let us deal wisely with them.
So, come on, let us deal wisely with them. Meaning what? Let's not have a full-blown just kill them all. You understand? Like at once. Like just go around kill every Israelite you see. No.
Right.
Let's deal wisely with them.
Right.
Let's take crafty counsel. Let's have a plot to where not only we ain't just gonna kill them off, but we gonna demonize them. We gonna paint a certain picture of them. We gonna turn them into savages. We gonna turn them into. They the problem. They the gangsters. They the thugs. They the savages. They the hoes. You understand? Meanwhile, we the ones that rape, rob, and murder to get everything in this country. We the ones that bring the crack over here. You understand? We the ones that's corrupt. We the ones that's really doing the extortion, the robbery at the highest level. But we gonna deal wisely with them. We gonna get them their own little world where they against each other and they each other worst enemy. While the real enemy, we in high places. You understand? Making sure it continue on.
Right.
But we gonna turn them against each other, and we gonna turn the world against them as well. Some wise dealing right here. Read them.
Lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when they fathered out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land.
So the whole counsel was to stop them from multiplying. You understand? Basically, population control. We got to stop them from generating something, because the more they multiply, the better chance they got of overthrowing us. So jump down to verse 15.
Verse 15.
Let's see how far this wise dealing went. Come on.
And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of one was Shapharah, and the name of the other Puah. And he said, when ye do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew
So
woman.
a midwife, that's like what they call it today, a doula, right? A sister that, basically dealing with the delivering of the baby. So when you do the office of a midwife to a Hebrew woman, meaning an Israelite sister, come on.
And see them upon the stools. If it be a son, then ye shall kill him.
That's Planned Parenthood.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
That's what that is. If it be a son, kill him. You got to imagine the level of oppression in his mind. Whether you like it or not, you in Egypt. So if it's a penis on that child, he gotta go. Destroy the young Israelite man from even sprouting into existence.
Right.
Kill him, cause he gonna take my kingdom. You understand? That's how he was thinking.
Right.
That little Israelite baby boy gonna take my kingdom one day. Kill him. You understand? Read on.
But if it be a daughter, then she shall live.
So that's the wise dealing that they deal with us. They said, okay, we got to stop them from multiplying. We not just gonna exterminate them all at once. You understand? We gonna do it systematically, and we gonna do it through the process of ensuring the destruction of the males from being brought up into the world to eventually overthrow us. So what you saw happen with the crack epidemic was the young black men that was alive, they got caught up in the activity. It wasn't nothing else for them to do. That's how they was able to make their money, quick come up or whatever. They was influenced and they gained influence by partaking in that lifestyle. So bam, get them caught up in it, get them to killing each other, warring over the drugs, and getting locked up and all of that, right? Then the women, they hooked on it. So what's happening with them? The addiction so strong that when they get pregnant, they still hitting the crack pipe. It becomes an idol. It's idolatry. You understand? Remember what Bishop brought out yesterday. Idols is the beginning and the end of all evil. You understand? That's some wise dealing. This thing right here gonna be so strong, it's gonna become an idol. They gonna put this over their kid. They walking around with a child in their stomach, still getting high off this controlled substance. What is it gonna do? It's either gonna kill the baby while it's in there, or it's gonna produce what is known as a crack baby. Now, a lot of us, was crack babies. And we made it all right. We all right.
Nah, it said 80s and 90s, bro. Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
That's why he hugged me. It's both of us.
We all right, though. You know what I'm saying? For real, the gates of hell ain't gonna prevail, you hear me? However, it was a real thing. It was a real problem. All right, play that video, man. Crack babies. Some wise dealing of spiritual Egypt.
Well, that's an ugly Edomite.
Perugia. A pregnant woman smokes crack cocaine. Her intense high lasts only a few seconds, but it can leave her unborn child with a lifetime of trouble. Medical experts say that in Miami, 10 crack babies are born every day. Statistics are nearly the same or worse in many major cities. It is a looming financial crisis at big city hospitals, a bill that is expected to top $300 million by 1991, a bill that you and I will have to pay. Everyone agrees that it's a national shame, but what's the solution? Well, here's what they're doing in Florida.
This baby has been an extremely jittery baby. This baby's central nervous system injury will probably make it very difficult for him to initiate respiration on his own and maintain it.
When you're on crack, you don't think about those things. I know it could cause defects, brain damage, but I still didn't care. I just wanted another hit.
This baby was born very, very catastrophically, delivering in the lobby, and had to be vigorously resuscitated at birth.
Of the babies born at Miami's Jackson Memorial Hospital during a one-week period, 1 in 5 black infants and 1 in 10 whites were born high on cocaine. Dr. Emily Banstra treats the most damaged.
For a baby that has a hemorrhage like this, the disability rate is very high. Over 80% of these babies will have major motor and mental difficulties.
I was really trying to get rid of the child. Think smoking more I smoke of that, the baby probably just died, but it didn't.
An estimated 10,000 crack babies were born in Florida last year, and state health officials were overwhelmed.
I really think it's the most rapidly growing public health epidemic any of us have seen for 20 or 30 years.
I mean, it's as if you're being attacked by someone with chemical warfare.
So, the state has launched a controversial counteroffensive. 22-year-old Denise Gethers gave birth twice last year. Both infants tested positive for cocaine. In February, prosecutors in the coastal city of Fort Lauderdale, knowing that drug charges just wouldn't stick, charged Denise instead with child abuse.
I'm not going to plead guilty to child abuse because I didn't abuse no child. This is not something to punish a person for. I think being addicted to crack cocaine is punishment enough. You don't have to send a person to prison for them to learn a lesson.
In the most aggressive prosecution yet, 2 women in Central Florida have been charged not just with child abuse, but with delivery of a controlled substance to a minor, their infant children. If convicted, the women face 30 years in jail and drug testing by the state for the rest of their childbearing years.
See, to me, while drugs are involved, this isn't a drug case. To me, it's a child abuse case. So
Seminole County prosecutor Jeff Dean is the first in...
For that. So, and that go with the limitations for about the daughter of my people have become cruel like an ostrich in the wilderness, right? That's something that crack did to our sisters. They take the man out the picture, the man in the streets, he hustling, he getting locked up, he gone, he out of there. He getting killed, he out of there. So you got the woman who on crack, she a victim to a lot of the sisters that went with these drug dealers, because, the drug dealers, they had all the women because they had all the nice stuff. And that's what the women was attracted to, right? So they going with the gangsters and the drug dealers. A lot of these women that dated these drug dealers, and I'd seen firsthand experience, stories, all of that. You know what I'm saying? Firsthand lives change. Woman, beautiful woman, funny, smart, good mama, good auntie, all that. She go with a drug dealer. She get to playing with the supply, getting high off the supply. Dibbling and dabbling and experimenting. Baby, let me see how you get off this. Let's see how the head gonna be when you hit this. You know what I'm saying? Let's see how long we can smash off this. So the woman that was just going with the drug dealer, now she hooked on the drugs. So now she started stealing from him and all that. Now he started beating her. Now he cut off. Now she just a crackhead single mama. And that's what you see.
Exactly.
That's what you see on the clip. Having the crack babies and abusing the babies and all of that. That be the story. They was young, beautiful
Right.
sisters attracted to men in that lifestyle, and then get with the men and start to dibble and dabble with their supply, and then that's what you see. They become like an ostrich in the wilderness. You understand? But real quick, get Baruch 4:15. What? Give me Deuteronomy 28. Let's go there. Deuteronomy 28, verse 49. The white man knew what he was doing. Spiritual Egypt. He thinking just like Pharaoh. How can we take the babies out? Read what you got.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle fly, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
Right, that's talking about America. America came as the eagle since they was Greece, since they was Rome, all the way up into how we know them, Spain, Britain, etc. The people that came and conquered America came as the eagle. That's the nation that we dealing with. All right, read on.
A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young.
Nor show favor to the young. In other words, they never gave a damn about our babies. They was using our babies as alligator bait. You understand? To catch alligators when we was in slavery. So they knowing that this substance, they know the effects it's going to have on the children. If they be born. If they make it out the womb. They already knowing what what that's going to cause.
Exactly.
The birth defects, the mental issue, the mental disparities, all of that. The inward thought of every one of them is deep. You understand? That was a part of the plot, to control the population. They either going to die in the womb, not make it out, or going to become an instrument of death in the community because how they born. They got it in their system. They cracked out. You understand? And they gonna be wild, and they gonna further engineer the crime and the evil and the destruction of their own community. Basically, they started a machine. We ain't gotta do enough. We fronted the work. Now we can sit back. You know what I'm saying? While y'all just keep this revolving cycle going. Sell crack. Put your people on the crack, have crack babies. Now it's a system. You know what I'm saying? It's a generational cycle. They knew what they was doing, man.
Hey, they did. Can we jump down to verse 25? They knew what they were doing. Look, Esau is not dumb. The Bible said they're wiser than Daniel. They know that Deuteronomy 28 is like, these Negroes, they can't figure this out. But watch this. Read this.
Verse 25. The Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies.
Right, so we were smitten before our enemies, right? And what we do? Come on.
Thou shalt go out one way against them.
So we marched. Black Power. Black Panther movement. We was rising up. But what happened?
And flee 7 ways.
And we flee 7 ways. What way was that? Man, we need to ease our minds. So when they put the drugs in the community, we flee to that. Let's run to the drugs. Let's run to Christianity. Let's run to this. Let's run to that. Okay. This is a plot from them. The plot twist. Right here. We ran 7 ways. We went out in amongst of whatever they put in front of us, not knowing it was going to be for our demise. Christianity, which is hell of a drug, is one of the crack paper.
Hey, Hezekiah, don't you got a story?
Damn.
A dude that was regular. He was like, man, let me try this. Did you tell me a story like that before?
I'm trying to think of which one.
Bring it out. The dude, he was like, basically like, man, let me see what man. I bet it ain't gonna do that to me or something like that.
I don't remember.
So what made me think of that was like, cause you talking about basically like the trauma, the stress, and all that lead to us gravitating to drugs.
Right.
But another thing was just the fact that everybody is on it, everybody is doing it. Is influenced like black people, like we read about popular persuasion, right? A lot of black people look at stuff like a challenge. Like think about social media the No, I'm serious.
Yeah, I know what you're
like
saying.
the past decade.
Ice bucket challenge and
they consisted of like the crate challenge.
The crate.
Like you seeing videos of people climbing up there, damn near breaking their neck, breaking their arms, limbs,
right,
hurting themselves, busting their head to the white. People died. Why did it keep going? Because black people like, man, I bet I could do this.
I could do that crack and not get the
Stupid. A lot of black people tried crack just to see if they could conquer it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You told me a story about that before. Come on, man. But a lot of black people tried that to see if they could conquer it or not really knowing what it was going to do. Especially when it first hit, you not knowing that you going to be walking around and doing all, you know what I'm saying? You ain't seen that happen.
Right.
But when you hit that crack, I don't know, I ain't never hit crack.
Anybody
but
here?
From stories, the sensation when you hit the feeling that the dopamine.
Oh, we got a story.
Huh?
We got a story. It's a video. The NASA dude.
They said he said it's better than sex.
It's on there. Hey, it's on the radio page. This man said this shit is better than
we gotta play that.
Yeah, we gotta play that.
We gotta play that. The sensation. The scriptures say, get that in Hebrews 11:25. This stuff is not. Black people didn't get on this stuff because it would make them a crackhead. Don't nobody want to be a crackhead.
Right.
They don't get on it to be a crackhead. They get on it because when you get high, that feeling is no feeling like it, and you chase that feeling over and over and over again.
And never get it.
That's right. You chasing a high that you ain't gonna catch it no more. But it's addictive.
Because it can't be like the first time.
That's
right.
Ever.
Read that scripture.
Hebrews chapter 11, verse 25. Choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season.
Sin is pleasurable. You understand? Stuff. Remember, know my famous quote. If it's good, it's bad.
Right.
If it's bad, it's good. Meaning,
Evil
a lot of
good.
times, if it feel good, taste good,
smell,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's probably bad for you in a sense that, you know, it's going to become an idol to you or it's going to be detrimental to your health. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But if it's bad, meaning it tastes bad, like medicine, herbs.
The scriptures.
Yeah, the scriptures getting cut up.
Right.
Counsel, correction.
Right.
If it feel bad, like cut
it hurt.
or it tastes nasty, it's probably good for you. It's what you need. You
Right.
understand? So the scriptures say pleasures of sin. A lot of people got on crack because they're high. It was nothing like it.
Evil is
They
good.
destroyed their life because the high felt that good. Play that video, man. Play that.
Am I to conclude that you're finished with it?
No, don't conclude that. I probably now, on the average, spend $100 a day.
It's about 2 o'clock now. Have you had any today?
Not yet. But Not yet. But you can believe when I leave here, it's probably made my next stop.
Now, you're a well-educated man. You have some experience in engineering.
Yes.
You have earning power, obviously. Why would you be fooling with this stuff? You can stand by and see what's happening to your own life, can't you?
I used to say the same thing. I used to witness people, and even people who were close to me, have their lives destroyed by it. And I used to witness people sit in these places and spend their last penny. And I say to them, how could you do such a thing, you know? But once you have tried it, you become the anchor banker, you understand. It's that much of a feeling or a sensation that it has wrecked lives, careers, broken up homes. It's just something you can't really describe.
What kind of shape is your life in now?
Well, I've been a little bit more fortunate than most that I have a roof over my head. Some people who are into crack usually pay their rent months in advance so they don't get evicted, the smart ones. Because, believe me, brother, if whatever money you have in your pocket, you walk in there with, you're not going to walk out with it. So
how much do you have on you now?
A little over $200.
And you're going to blow all of that?
In about an hour and a half.
What's the most you've used in a day?
The most I ever spent was $1,300 in 6 hours.
$1,300?
$1,300 in 6 hours. I can't even describe it. I defy anyone to try and tell me it's the most pleasurable thing that they've ever experienced in their life. However, I never tell anyone to take it. But once they have, I dare them to tell me that it's not the best feeling they've ever had.
Pause.
You love it, don't you?
Yeah,
Bro, no, sir.
Wisdom Solomon
can't make
4
it
and
up.
12.
Right.
Bro,
This is amazing.
Hey.
Like, Lord's willing, we ain't just put no spirits on nobody.
Don't look. He said, "Don't do it."
Look,
Don't do it.
don't do it.
Don't do it.
But if you do it, you can't tell me that wasn't the best feeling you ever had in your life.
I just noticed something. You said it's like a challenge, and the thing that said was DARE, right? What is that?
Drugs.
No. What does it say though? What is that?
Dare.
I dare you to
dare
do
you.
it.
Dare.
That's some damn crafty ass.
Hey,
Them
I dare
Edomites the damn devil,
dare
bro.
you.
I dare you to
These
forget
are
the
damn-
acronym.
Hey,
Niggas
kids,
just like
Kids,
dare.
I dare you.
I dare you to do
I
it.
dare you kids to go and try it.
You going to jail? You gonna lose your whole life? Ain't
Right
the damn
amongst the
devil,
pleasant spirits
man.
you ever had in your life.
Go ahead and get the wisdom of Solomon, man.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4, verse 12. For the bewitching of naughtiness doth obscure things that are honest.
Read.
And the wonder.
So you know damn well it done destroyed lives, broken homes. You didn't look at people from the outside like, how could you do that?
Right.
You understand? You know that it's not worth it. You shouldn't do it. But the bewitching of naughtiness, like, but damn,
That shit.
they say it's no feeling better.
Dang, I can sleep.
Wait a minute.
Damn.
I don't know. I might
I
be smart enough. I might be strong enough to bounce back, or I might can control my habit.
I'm an NASA engineer.
Right. I might can control my habit. I know I can play chess with it. I can pay my rent months.
Wait, that's a rocket scientist, right?
Yeah.
That's a damn genius. You not smarter than this ass. You ain't getting off.
I didn't even think about that. That's literally, he literally the term rocket scientist.
Exactly.
And they be like, you ain't got to be a rocket
Rocket
scientist.
scientist.
He a rocket scientist.
Exactly.
It became a rock experimenter.
Right.
He said, I got the rock.
You went from a rocket scientist
To a rock
to being
scientist.
a rock experimenter.
You lose.
You can't make this
Day,
up.
sir.
The bewitching of naughtiness, the pleasures of sin,
Damn.
will obscure things that's honest. Read on.
And the wandering of concupiscence.
The wandering of concupiscence, meaning lust. You are like, damn, you searching for that good feeling, that sensational feeling. And somebody telling you this little thing right here ain't number $5. This gonna give you the best feeling in your. It's better than sex.
You gonna say it?
It's better than.
I love it.
But
Damn. You can tell
Like,
he
I
loves just
can't-
talking about it.
I can't fathom that. You understand? Can't fathom that. I said Tupac said it's the sweetest joy. You understand? I can't fathom. But with him saying that, it's like the wandering of concupiscence. Read on.
Doth undermine the simple mind.
Well, undermine, meaning they'll wear down your mind like water will wear down, wither away a rock. That's what happened to your brain. So being around the people, getting close to it, you know, entertaining the conversation, like, I bet you won't try. You know what I'm saying? That'll wear you down to where you finally give in to it.
Mm-hmm.
For real. That's what happened to me. I remember when I was young, I always had the mind, because I grew up seeing, you know, I had crackheads in the family. People that was close, near and dear to me, loved me. I seen their lives get destroyed and all that. And I knew weed wasn't crack, but I was just like, I ain't with that.
Right. Hell
Like,
nah.
I was strong-minded at first. Like, hey, You know what I'm saying? I ain't
first,
smoking. I ain't. You know what I'm saying? I'm above that.
Not crack, y'all. Not crack.
I'm above that. But guess what? My homeboy that I was hanging with every day, I always hung with older homeboys and stuff. They smoking. They fine. They still functional. They still going to school. Well, kinda. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, well, I'll never forget the first day I smoked weed. It was random as hell. Getting off the bus, 9th grade, homeboy, he had a pipe to smoke the weed. You know what I'm saying? And they were just like, man, look, you ain't gonna hit this, man. I'm like, man, you know what I'm saying? Look, it got y'all laughing and giggling. Man, that ain't gonna do that. Man, let me see. You know what I'm saying? So the point is, you spend too much time around the people that's doing it. You know what I'm saying? The smelling, and it seduce you and entice you. You had that rock, but it got undermined. You know what I'm saying? Through being around it,
That goes back to that.
It'll corrupt you.
I was just gonna say that evil communication corrupt
Yeah,
good manners. That's what it go back to.
Exactly. So play. I just want the part Baruch want. Play the video.
Look at him.
Hey, he love it, man.
Well, I don't know if I'd say I'd love it, but
Well, if it's the best feeling you've ever had, you know what most people automatically think.
Right.
And it's better than that?
yes, it's better than that.
Then you must love it. Then you must love it.
It's nice.
Now, I'm going to come down hard on you.
So,
Crack
in
has
other
made you...
words. Oh, hello.
Right, hey.
Keep playing.
It's punk, hasn't it? It's got you running. It's got your nose open.
Right.
And it's your master.
Yeah.
Damn!
You admit that, just like that.
Sure.
Whoa!
I know a lot of people who are
Ezekiel
undercover
14.
crack users.
Get up there. Ezekiel 14:3. Damn.
Idolatry.
Yeah.
Damn.
Crack runs me. Runs my life.
That nigga's tripping.
It's my master.
It's his daddy.
It's running you, isn't it? It's basically he's saying it's effing you. You is punk. You is
Right. You
hoe.
right.
Yeah.
You gotta call it daddy.
Imagine what they'll do for it when you love it that much. Imagine what you'll do for it when you ain't got no money.
Hey, didn't REA used to tell us he had the dudes would carry refrigerators trading in that for some damn crack.
Yeah.
On their back, a whole refrigerator.
Yeah,
Can you imagine
anything.
that? Steal anything for
or
a
do
piece
anything.
of crack.
Turn tricks.
Bro,
Oh yeah, nah,
bro,
hey,
you know about them.
you seen Minister Society?
That's what I was just gonna say.
Look, we ain't too young for that.
Right.
We
He was
watch
like-
Minister
he was
Society
like,
boys and everything.
I got them
You know what I'm saying?
cheeseburgers.
Suck your dick with $2. I suck your dick with $2. I suck your dick with $2.
Hey.
Nah, look.
Wow.
What he said.
Hey,
Everybody know that part. I suck your. That's a real thing.
Right.
That's a real thing. Dudes that was regular dudes that had females and was the best dressed in high school and all of that got strung out on crack and got sucking dang-a-ling for that rock.
Nigga, you gay.
On their knees. Can you please?
That's some sad shit.
For real, the black crack has literally created homosexuals.
We watched
Right.
you for $2.
Real talk. That's
point.
how powerful that thing
He
is.
said, I ain't gay.
bro.
And then as soon as he get the thing, he forgot he didn't know what the hell he
It
was
put
doing.
demons up, bro. That thing put demons in you, bro.
Take
Women
their
sell
soul
they-
away.
They sell their bodies for it.
That's the byword. Crack is the new black.
So look up to the next thing, man. What was
You
next?
wanted that Ezekiel?
Yeah, give me that Ezekiel. Yeah, my bad. Ezekiel 14:3.
Ezekiel chapter 14, verse 3.
Come on.
Son of man, these men have set up their idols in their heart.
They did what?
Set up their idols in their heart.
Set up their idols in their mind. Read.
And put the stumbling block of their iniquity before their face.
Right there in the crack pipe. Put it right in front of your
Right.
face.
Right.
You understand? The stumbling block. That's what take you. You are rocket scientist. God endowed you with the not. Just imagine how much money he made. Just imagine all that for a crack rock.
1,300 a day.
Boy, ain't
6
no way,
hours.
boy.
In 6
That was
hours.
in the
I'll build
80s.
5 rockets.
In 6
I'll build 5
hours.
rockets
Wasn't that
for
in
you.
the
Just give me
80s?
$1,000.
Yeah.
That was in the late 80s. That
So
type of money.
that's like 5 bands today.
Exactly. He was paid back then.
He had that bread
He had that
and
bread.
spent it all for his idol. It's a God. It runs me. Yes, it's my master. Christ said, "Don't call nobody else."
Right.
So that means that became his God, and that's the to be a crackhead. That's literally what manifests. Like that's what they devote their life to. Nothing really matters when they have children and all that. Them children ain't they children no more. They stay with their grandma.
They stay the house.
They stay with their cousin. They stay with they don't, you know what I'm saying? You disown your children. You understand? Everybody, you on your own out here. You a vagabond in the earth. Cause all you care about is getting that crack rock. That's it. It become your God. Hey, make sure you call in, man. It's people doing all
True
the
One
comments,
Talk,
all
man.
them stories.
Call in.
833-878-7234
We wanna hear your
extension
stories.
7. Bring it out.
Yeah, he say.
Let's talk truth.
Right.
We want to hear all the stories, man.
That's right.
But this interview right here, what we was talking about earlier, he brought out a lot of information as it pertains to the government and their involvement with because I don't want to get away from that because we can talk about crackheads all day. You understand? And how we mess up and how we do that. And it's the truth. Like at the end of the day, we bring it up on ourselves. We should know to abstain from these dangerous substances or whatever the case may be. But nevertheless, the truth about crack, how it got here, how black people got on it in the first place, it was a real deal agenda from the enemy, literally to destroy the black community. Your government, the same one you be voting for, you talking about you a Republican, you a Democrat, and all that, the same government is what put crack in your community to destroy you and lock your men up. You understand? And how you strung out, having your babies dying. All of that. The government literally did it. All right, play that video. Hold on. This
So
brother,
like
this brother right here, cause Cap hit on it, cause you got a lot of he's Noriega. Him literally, he named himself after a drug kingpin.
Damn.
So you got the Sosas, you got the Tonys, this and the Pacino, this and all this. A lot of rappers still do that to this day. You understand? 21, man, that was our era. You understand? So that thing, when it hit back then, but it didn't go nowhere. The man that Noriega, ironically, Noriega interviewing, name is Freeway Rick Ross. Them is 2 different rappers' names. 2 different rappers named themselves after this man, because that's how major he was in the dope game. So they trying to portray the image to their audience like, yeah, I'm like that. I'm like him. You understand? It's a rapper named Freeway and it's a rapper named Rick Ross. That ain't their name at all. That's this man's name. Damn. But they named themselves after him to glorify the lifestyle that he was living and make it seem like they get down like that. So this dude right here, he was up in the ranks with the crack for real. So he was a kingpin. So he ain't just up there just talking. They ain't got him on this platform for no reason. So keep playing. Play on.
Well, you know, you got to look at it like this here, Nor. I was 19 when I started.
Damn.
Couldn't read, couldn't write, didn't watch the news. Wow. All I saw what the big homies was trying to do, and I saw where they was making their mistakes. I went in and corrected their mistakes and made basically my own formula of getting down. I had no clue about the war in Nicaragua, where my man was. I mean, I wouldn't ask my man, where you live?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's just something you just don't do that in the game. You know, like, if he wants you to know where he lives, he gonna take you to his house.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. If he don't want you over his house around his wife and his kids, you don't go around his wife and kids. That's just how the game was. Right. So I never really questioned how the whole thing was lined up. Now, he had mentioned to me before, oh, we fighting a war in my country.
Right.
And we got to win to get our property, our land back.
Right.
So I understood that because I was fighting for my land.
But he's saying that, you're not thinking soldiers and military. You're thinking you thinking Bloods and Crips, right? That's how I would think that.
So what he's saying is his plug. He had a plug from where the coke was being grown at. He didn't even understand the magnitude of his plug. You understand? But his plug was from the place where America was sending troops to fight for the drugs. He not even computing like what the hell his plug talking about. Damn. We fighting a war against your country to retain our drug. You know what I'm saying? That's going over his head. He like, oh, okay, so y'all have a little cartel war or something. No, they were fighting against the U.S. military over their drug. But that was the plug that he had, though. Keep playing.
That's what I was thinking.
Right. And he's Nicaraguan, right?
He's Nicaraguan.
So he's dealing with the Sandinistas and all that stuff. Like,
correct.
He's in the Contras, dealing with the Contras. He's a Contra. Right.
Fighting against the Sandinistas. Right. I don't know nothing about the Sandinistas.
You know now, I'm assuming.
Oh, absolutely.
But back then you didn't know.
Yeah.
Nobody knew. It was all covert shit going on.
It was, but it was people in the country that knew that there was a war going on in Nicaragua, that America was fighting this war, and that the Contras had lost the war, basically, and they had to be pushed into the U.S.
Right.
They also knew that these guys still wanted to win this war and that these guys would start selling drugs. I mean, the CIA admitted that in their report, that eventually they became aware that these guys weren't just fighting a war over there with the money that they had got from the government, but they had took this money. My informant, who was also my drug supplier, when he testified...
Blandon, what's his name?
Blandon.
But you didn't know any of that he was any of that government-wise?
No. I thought, I mean, you know, when you're growing up in South Central, we have a dislike for the police. Right. You know, I mean, I done sit on the curb when I was 14, 15 years old. You know, get on the curb, sit down, don't move, put your bike right there. You know, all y'all sit on the curb, don't nobody move, we gonna run everybody. We gonna make sure these bikes ain't stolen. So we already had a dislike for the police, a distrust for the police. So it was no way that we would have been informed that this operation was going on. You know, this had to be something where you was politically connected to really be in the loop on this.
And like one of the first times the police chased you, they shot at you. Like
a few times.
It wasn't like put your hands up. It was like, let's kill them.
No, a few times. Well, you know.
God bless.
I got so big, and I was able to outmaneuver the cops. You know, they couldn't figure out why they couldn't catch me with no drugs. You know, why would they would raid my houses, and there would never be drugs in my houses. So they got mad.
You couldn't live with Instagram, boy. Instagram would have killed you back then.
Yeah, Instagram. These cameras. Oh my goodness.
My bad. I'm just thinking.
No, you're absolutely correct. Because back then we could hide more. You know, nobody
didn't know how you look.
Nobody knew how you look. Right. No, they don't know how you dress. You know, they looking for this guy driving around.
And you didn't have a police record back then?
No, I didn't have a record.
Okay, continue. This is crazy.
So. They didn't know. All they knew was Freeway Rick. Right. You know, they don't know my full name. They don't know my address. They don't know who my girlfriend is. They don't know really nothing about me. Only thing that they know, the first time that I got tipped about this task force is my gardener had came in the house one day, and he was like, man,
hold on, let's make some noise. You having a gardener back in the days. Niggas is just getting gardeners in the 90s right now. I mean, in the 2000s.
The task force is not DA. It's prior to DEA, right?
Or prior to DEA.
Right.
They just what they did with the task force is City Hall had a meeting, and they said that people in the neighborhood kept bragging about this young guy, Freeway Rick,
right,
who's having all this money.
Right.
So what city council did is they had a meeting and they took 5 of the toughest police stations in Los Angeles and put them together. And they called them the Freeway Task Force.
Oh, shit.
These cops' job was to bring me down. Along the way, they started stealing money, robbing people, forging search warrants. I mean, they was some of the biggest crooks that you ever want to see. So my gardener was the first one to tip me off to the Freeway Task Force. I didn't know nothing about him. So he tipped me off, and that started a whole nother...
but what did he say? He seen police coming around or something?
All right, go to the next timestamp. So yeah, so as y'all can see, old boy, he was a big dog in the game, but he thought he was smart. He could outmaneuver the police. But his plug ended up being an informant. Ain't no way around it.
They gonna get you one way or the other.
Ain't no way around it. Play the video.
The big homies all told me, like, if you don't get high, you gonna get rich, little motherfucker. Because I was like considered young. I was 19, but I was like young for the dudes who was involved with coke at that time. I mean, a gram was $300. So the only motherfuckers could afford it was like pimps, lawyers, doctors. So motherfuckers like me and under me, they really didn't have no money.
Right.
You know, You know, I had money because I had enough sense to hang out with the pimps. And that's how I really became exposed to the game, from hanging out with them.
Right.
But at that time, man, it was so damn expensive that didn't nobody had no money to get that.
Could you think the era? And again, we're not glorifying it, but we're understanding that this is factual fact.
It's history. It's history. It's history.
You think a person could do it on your level the way you did it back then? Like you know, you ever read Don Diva or the Feds magazine?
It's hard.
And it was like, man, this kid might have did it more bigger than me. Like,
it's hard. You know, it's really hard to duplicate that.
Skip to the next timestamp.
The police didn't know what we was doing. Like when you know, I got those sheriffs indicted. The cops that was doing all of the stealing and
the sheriffs the guy that you met in the documentary.
Yeah, I got them indicted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had to take care of them because they was hurting the hood.
Right. They were stealing from y'all.
They were stealing and robbing.
They weren't even being Robin Hood. They was being robbing and robbing.
And then would send you to jail. They would rob you
and send you to jail.
Wow. I'm like, I can go with being robbed, but you ain't gonna rob me and put me in jail.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I hired a private investigator to investigate them.
Wow.
I spent $100,000. My lawyer, I go see my lawyer. So they had just raided my girl house, right? I ain't never had no dope in my girl house.
Right.
How the fuck? I know we ain't forgot no dope in there. You know, because you know how you sometimes, we
So this man said he hired a private investigator to investigate the police.
Cookie cops, right.
That's wild. That made me think of Shaft. Because when I remember watching Shaft, I'm like, damn. So he left the police force to be a private investigator. So you could be like in the law without being in the law.
Right.
So he hired but you gotta have bread though. But he hired somebody that was in the law or of the law but not in the law.
Right.
You understand? To get the law. This dude right here is really not good. He wise to do evil for sure. However, the black community, a lot of people in the black community still denounce him for the fact, man, you ain't supposed to tell, period. I don't care. Ain't no snitching. You don't snitch on nobody. Because the reason why he out and he's a free man is because he cooperated to get all the police, the corrupt police and all that took down. Like how they, same narrative as, what's the dude, Frank? American Gangster, Frank Lucas. Pretty much same thing. He got the crooked police and different people took down in order for him to get out. You understand? But you keep playing a little bit.
we used to keep our dope in cars.
Right.
You know, that was how we beat the cops.
Right.
They didn't understand the car game. You know, you throw it in the trunk of the car, move the car a block or two down the street, never see it until you need it.
Right.
They're never gonna know. So we always kept our dope in cars. So sometimes we would forget and have 10, 15 keys in the trunk of a car. We go to the car and open the trunk and it's 15 keys and they're like, damn, how long this shit been in here? So I'm saying when they raid our house, I said, damn, did we leave that shit in there on accident or something? You know, maybe one day we left it under the sink.
Or maybe we left cash there.
Well, cash, if they'd have said cash, I would have said, yeah,
Okay.
you know.
Right.
Yeah, you know.
But they said dope.
But they said dope.
Right.
You know,
you
this
don't
my
know
girl
dope.
house.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I'm like, nah, I ain't buying that. So I go tell my lawyer, right? I'm like, man, I know it wasn't no dope in there. He said, oh no, you had to at least some dope. I said, man, I ain't left no dope in her house. So he said, oh, so you saying they crooked? He arguing with me. I'm paying this motherfucker, right?
Right.
He arguing with me. I said, man, wasn't no dope in there. So he said, well, if you think they crooked, get a private investigator. Because I had never thought about it. I ain't know nothing about no private investigator.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't never been to court yet.
Right.
So I said, well, man, who is a private investigator? So he put me up. I hired a private investigator. I gave dude $100,000. And so dude followed the cops around. Everywhere they went, he went.
Up front or they had to give him 50?
I gave him 100 up front.
Oh, okay, cool. God damn it. This is them times. This is them times. Continue.
Yeah, so he followed them around and
Hey,
he started bringing.
let me just say
disclaimer, y'all.
Cause the laughing and all that, like, that's the glorification, of
Right?
it. Like, yeah, tell you that one of the you go, like, no, that
ain't
it
me.
cost him his freedom for a period of time. He still ended up going to jail. He not living that lifestyle no more. It's over with.
He did
You
a long
understand?
bid too.
Right, he did a long bid, but like the black community, we embrace that stuff, man. We glorify that
cool,
stuff,
man.
You know,
He killed a lot of people, ruined
For
a lot of
real.
lives.
So, but anyway, you get off that. You can go to the Vice. Now, real quick, play that video I just sent that Captain Bazanian sent earlier about Esau making a mockery of us. Get and then real quick, get Job 30, I believe it is. Yeah, Job 30. About what our enemies did to us once they oppressed us. It's what they did. Job chapter 30. Let's start at verse 5.
Job chapter 30, verse 5.
Uh-huh.
They were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief.
Read.
To dwell in the clefts of the valleys and caves of the earth and in the rocks.
Talking about the white man, the Caucasian that came from the Caucasus Mountains. You understand? They was barbarians. They was driven from among men. You understand? They was cave dwellers. They was the filth, the scum of the earth. They was base. Read on.
Among the bushes they prayed. Under the nettles they were gathered together.
Read.
They were children of fools.
Uh-huh.
Yea, children of base men. They were viler than the earth.
Profane, nasty. Didn't know how to bathe. None of that. So basically, the way we look at crackheads today, you understand? That's how Esau was before Renaissance and all of that. Read on.
And now am I their song.
But now am I their song. Come on.
Yea, I am their byword.
In other words, we have became the crackheads, the savages, the base people of the earth.
Right.
And they sing about it. They celebrate it. You understand? So it went from us being royalty and ruling over Europe and all of that, and them being cave dwellers, to them running the richest empire in the world, and we in the streets on crack, stealing TVs and burgers. Right. You understand? Damn. We are their song. Play that song real quick. About the look, hold on. Read verse 1.
Verse 1. But now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock.
So Job said, these people, I wouldn't even let them keep company with my dogs. So they below dogs.
Wow.
You understand? In the sight of Job eyes.
Right.
And this group, the dogs, let's see how they made a mockery of our people. Play that. DJ Nightmare.
You can't play anymore because you always cheating. So that's why your mama's on crack rock. No, she isn't with your ugly behind. Ooh, we're gonna tell your mama. So tell her. Nah, your mama's on crack rock. Your mama's on crack rock. Not my mama. Your mama's on crack rock. No, she ain't. Your mama's on crack rock. I don't wanna hear it. Your mama's on crack rock.
Yo, here's a story about a girl who was tricking on the app. It might be your mama, but don't you laugh. Last night I saw your mama. She was tricking on the block. You know what she was doing? She was tricking for the crack rock.
Your mama's on crack rock. Not my mama.
Damn.
Bruh.
Damn.
Wow.
I wonder who released this music.
The Jewish man.
Jewish. Damn.
Bro, we messed up as a people. We messed up. That's wrong, bro.
That shit whack.
Making fun of, and a lot of kids that went through that, and guess what? Their trauma from growing up, being humiliated, embarrassed, people talking about your people, making fun of you. Oh, yo, mama crackhead, my daddy told your daddy crack, nigga. All that, you know, and that they be it's depressing. So they grow up and they get on they do the same damn thing. And they get on other drugs.
Man, rappers crazy too. Was it Jadakiss or the other dude was saying he sold to his own mama?
Young Jeezy.
Young Jeezy, yeah. That's crazy as hell, man.
And it's glorified. All right. Go to the last video, the Vice. Just to put the icing on the cake, man.
I think he
for
said,
us the
he
truth
said
about the crack era.
He was like, I'm gonna sell my mama some crack because somebody else gonna do it. I'm like, he's straight.
Yeah, some wickedness, man.
That's wicked as hell.
That's like saying, that's why you can't let black people try to use knowledge, not logic as it pertains to justify evil.
Right.
That's like, if my daughter gonna be a hoe.
Well, I'm a hoe out first.
Yeah. What, nigga?
You
if she gonna get smashed anyway, it might well be by me.
Right.
You see how evil, wicked, nasty that sound?
Right. We ill.
But with that logic, she on crack, if she gonna get it, she might as well get it from me. That's some, bruh. Young G, bruh. He need his ass whooped for that.
And that's why he don't love black women. He with that little Asian woman.
Damn. This stuff deep.
Damn.
All right, play that video, man. Truth about the crack era. Play. Play what you got.
Any day now.
It's okay. You can play.
Play what you got. Come on, man. We trying people to 3 o'clock. We gotta go to camp.
Right.
Come on, man.
The story of the CIA and crack cocaine doesn't actually begin on the streets of LA or Miami. It begins in the jungles of Central America. In 1979, the dictatorial government of Nicaragua was overthrown by socialist revolutionaries called the Sandinistas. In response, right-wing groups known as the Contras began a brutal paramilitary campaign, receiving money and weapons from the CIA as part of the Cold War struggle against the Soviet Union.
If we cut off the freedom fighters, we will be giving the Soviets a free hand in Central America, handing them one of their greatest foreign policy victories since World War II.
But in 1982, Democrats in Congress passed laws to cut off support for the Nicaraguan rebels. So the Contras and their CIA backers had to find new ways of funding their struggle. What they found was cocaine. By the late 1970s, more people in the US were snorting coke than ever before. Most of it imported from Colombia. In the early 80s, smokable cocaine, or crack, exploded across American cities. This proved to be a gold mine for countless organized crime groups, even those backed by the CIA.
Today, cocaine and marijuana are found throughout our society from top to bottom. And that means corruption, top to bottom, and gang war violence.
The Contras were soon linked with Colombian cartels, and in 1985, reporters Robert Parry and Brian Barger broke an almost unbelievable story. They claimed Nicaraguan rebels were involved in cocaine trafficking, and that not only did the CIA know about these activities, they allowed them to continue in order to help fund the Contras' war effort.
When Bob Perry and Brian Barger got a hold of a CIA report revealing that they were working in the...
So get 1 Timothy 6:9 real quick. The CIA basically excused the activity because it would help, fund them and all of that. And it just goes to show, like, at the end of the day, America is, the media and all of that, they able to try to, make it seem a certain way. But at the end of the day, you ruined your own country. You pollute your own country.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? You cause everything that's going to contribute to your downfall. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
But you got to look back, like, was it worth it? Like, what you did, the spiraling, like Captain Messiah mentioned earlier, how it's spiraling out of control now, how they thought it was so smart that, we going to do this to keep the prisons full. And then now, hell, you got to let them go. There ain't no room in the prison because your drill agenda then surpassed the crack agenda. Right. You know what I'm saying? Now you can only lock up killers. Now the crack people, the drug, now they out here now. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it is spiraled out of their control. They people done been affected. You know what I'm saying? It's the communities, the value of homes, and they be trying to gentrify and all of that. But a lot of these communities that you see, like the hoods, they was once nice. What caused the houses to become dilapidated and destroyed, and the streets look how they look, was crack. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
But that's your land, though. Read what you got. Read that.
1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 9.
Come on.
But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition.
Come on.
For the love of money is the root of all evil.
The love of money is the root of all evil. That's what caused the crack epidemic. You know what I'm saying? Of course, yes, it was a plot and a scheme to destroy our people. But the white man's so greedy, you know what I'm saying? He looking at it like, yeah, we gon' gain from this. It's basically like you were saying, it's like a multiple layered sword.
Right.
Like, not only is we gonna be able to destroy these niggas, but we gonna eat. You understand? This gonna help our economy. The Bible said the love of money is the root of all evil. That's slavery. Like, it's a conjunction between perpetual hatred for the Israelites and greed. You understand? That greed spirit that Esau got, never satisfied. That's what the trade, the slavery and all of that was a come up for them. We can build a whole civilization for dirt cheap. You understand? Free slave labor. Now, we do got to feed them and all that and maintain them to an extent, so it's not like 100% free.
Mm-hmm.
But that's better than us having to work and do it. You understand?
Right.
So the oppression and the hatred that they exercise toward us is 99% of the time tied to some type of financial gain or benefit for them. Same thing with the drill culture and all that, the insurance policies they put on the rappers. It all tie in.
Mm-hmm.
Read that again.
For the love of money is the root of all
The
evil.
love of money is the root of all evil. Come on.
Which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith.
Read.
And pierced themselves through with many sorrows.
Right. So you can become like the white man. You love money, and that's what you see. With a lot of our people that make it and all of that, they become completely detached from their people because their love of money spirit, that greed spirit, it'll put that Edomite spirit on your ass. And it'll eventually turn into a hatred spirit for your people. For real, because that's what they got. They got the greed spirit in conjunction with the perpetual hatred. And that's what you saw, come to pass with the crack epidemic stuff. All right, play on.
In the mid-1980s with Contras fighting the Sandinista government, they were warned by their editors that this was not something that was going to make the people that own their newspapers very happy, and most of them ended up losing their jobs.
At this point, the CIA strongly denied that they were involved in the drug trade. But on the streets, the rumors began to spread that the government was either actively or passively allowing crack to be sold. These remained just rumors until 1996, when a reporter with the San Jose Mercury News named Gary Webb picked up the story from a new angle. Webb investigated the case of Freeway Rick Ross, who in the early 1980s was the most important kingpin in LA's crack scene, and probably America's first ever crack millionaire.
What's the most money you ever made in a day?
$3 million.
What Webb uncovered was that Ross's main cocaine supplier was a guy named Danilo Blandon, a Nicaraguan exile who funneled tens of thousands of dollars in cocaine profits back to the Contras through banks in Miami. Blandon, in turn, worked for Norwin Meneses, perhaps the biggest drug trafficker in Nicaragua, who had deep ties to the Contra leadership and was widely thought to benefit from CIA protection.
The DEA had always tried to arrest Norwin Meneses, who was living openly and raising money for the Contras, but had never been able to build a case against him, and felt like there was something about this guy that must explain why they couldn't do that he was protected, in other words. And when Gary Webb's story came along, he not only showed where the connection was between Meneses and Blandon and Freeway Ricky Ross, but he also went into all this history and unveiled how there was a very large, well-documented crack distribution ring that had operated for years, with the CIA turning a blind eye.
What's the process you go through? Okay, you're the guy on top, and where do you get your coke from?
I was getting my coke from a guy by the name of Oscar Danilo Blandon, who also was my informant. He's a guy that set me up with the police. When I went to trial, we found out that he was what they call a Contra. The Contras was backed by the CIA, and it sparked this big investigation by this reporter called Gary Webb.
In August of 1996, the Mercury News published Webb's reports in a 3-part series titled Dark Alliance. The story grabbed attention across the US, particularly amongst the African American community, which had been targeted by law enforcement following the rise of crack.
Tell America what the story's about. It was about a cocaine ring that operated along the west coast of the United States throughout most of the 80s. And some of the money they were making was going to support an army that the men who ran the cocaine ring worked for, called the FDN. This was an army that the CIA started in 1981 and supported.
Better known to us, most of us who remember news, the Contras.
Nowhere in Dark Alliance did Webb explicitly assert that the CIA was responsible for the crack epidemic, let alone that they intentionally sold the drug. But that was the narrative that got picked up in the popular imagination, probably not helped by the Mercury News illustrating the feature with an image of a guy smoking a crack pipe superimposed on the CIA logo. But the story took off not just due to his explosive claims, but also because of another new and highly addictive force that had begun to reshape American society: the internet. Dark Alliance was the first major piece of investigative journalism to be published simultaneously in print and online. The story went viral, getting picked up by everyone from street protesters to talk radio hosts and eventually politicians looking to attack the Reagan and Bush administrations. California Congresswoman Maxine Waters became a particular champion of the piece.
As a public elected officials, all of us must be concerned that our government could have anyway been involved in drug trafficking.
The reaction to the story was so intense that the CIA director took the unprecedented step of defending the agency at a heated LA community meeting.
It is an appalling charge that goes to the heart of this country. I will get to the bottom of it, and I will let you know the results of what I found.
How are we supposed to trust the CIA official to investigate themselves?
What was equally shocking, though, was the reaction of America's mainstream media. Webb and the San Jose Mercury News often maintained that Dark Alliance was intended as the beginning of an investigation that larger newspapers with more resources could then continue. But what actually happened was that instead of investigating the CIA, major papers like the LA Times, Washington Post, and New York Times all attacked Webb himself. Webb was eventually hounded from his job and found himself unable to work as a journalist. He died by suicide in 2004.
All three major newspapers felt completely caught off guard by this story, so they fully attacked Gary Webb with a vengeance, unlike anything that had ever been seen before, and completely attempted to not only discredit his story and frame it as a conspiracy theory, but pretty much ruin his entire reputation.
We saw a complete failure, perhaps one of the most shameful examples of how the mainstream press can operate in destroying a fellow journalist for getting at an important story. And Webb suffered mightily for this.
But as people got more and more lost in the minutiae of attacking or defending Webb's journalism, the focus on the CIA's involvement in the drug trade began to get lost. A fact that internal CIA documents held up as a good example of managing a public relations nightmare. But in 1998, the CIA's own Inspector General released a report essentially admitting that many elements of the Dark Alliance story were true. That the agency had known that people linked with the Contras were importing cocaine, had done nothing to stop them, and had even protected them from investigation.
So you had the CIA finally coming to the table and admitting that what we reported in the 80s and what Webb reported in the 90s was in fact true.
Mr. Menez. Get that real quick in Psalm 64, verse 8. This one thing Esau gonna always do at the end of the day. Psalm 64, verse 8.
The book of Psalms, chapter 64 and verse 8.
Come on.
So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away.
Right, so God said they're going to make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. They're gonna admit to it. The thing is, what they say about deflection is something. Deflection is some type of, it's a phrase or whatever, but it's an instrument to distract you from the real issue at hand. Like he said, the people got lost in the shuffle of the debate about Webb's journalism, and the real focal point, the goalpost was moved. You understand? The attention left off from the CIA being guilty of doing what they was doing and became on some whole other journalist debate bull stuff, right? Meanwhile, the CIA admitted, you understand? They admitted to the allowance of the importing of cocaine and protecting those that were importing it. They admitted to it. It's documented. It's in the paperwork, for real. But who has done time? Who put CIA on trial?
Right.
They got the power.
They still out there doing their work.
Keep playing.
Was actually indicted in 1984. He was known within, my own sources in DEA told me he was known as El Rey de la Droga, the king of drugs. He was in more than 40 files and indicted mysteriously, and people within the DEA say that it was CIA intervention that kept this sealed indictment from ever being opened.
In one case detailed in the report, when traffickers linked to the Nicaraguan king of drugs, Norwin Menezes, were busted in San Francisco in 1983, the CIA even requested that tens of thousands of dollars which had been seized be returned to the drug traffickers.
The CIA admitted that they knew that these guys were selling drugs and had went to the Attorney General and asked the Attorney General could they not report it. Because the mission that they were trying to accomplish was so big, it was a matter of U.S., what do they call it?
National security?
National security.
So wait, the U.S., the CIA was allowing this just kind of to happen, the drugs to go in, and they weren't putting it there, but they were allowing it to happen and funneling the
That's
money.
what we believe.
This is a complex story, but let's try to answer the big questions. Did the CIA actually sell crack? On the evidence we've got, no. There were no agents with sunglasses and earpieces slinging rocks on the streets of Compton. Did the CIA work with and protect major drug traffickers? Yes, absolutely. They've been forced to admit that publicly. The real tragedy here is that as far as we know, no one from the CIA or the mainstream media even lost their jobs over this.
Damn.
The only people who suffered for it were the journalists who exposed the story and the millions of people targeted by the unjust and racist laws that were passed in response to the 1980s crack crisis.
We'd like to congratulate drugs for winning the war on drugs.
Damn.
Damn.
That's crazy.
Hey, get Isaiah 29 and 15, man, about the dark alliance and all of that. At the end of the day, man, the Lord gonna expose everything. He gonna bring the hidden things to light. Read that.
Isaiah chapter 29, verse 15.
Come on.
Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are in the dark. And they say, who seeth us, and who knoweth us?
Right. That's the so-called white man. Trying to hide their counsel from the Lord. Trying to do their stuff in the dark. Dark alliance and all of that. The Lord gonna bring it out, man. The Lord gonna manifest your evil. That's why 2 Thessalonians 2, the prophets gotta, you know what I'm saying, bring it with the scriptures, because the black mind had been dumbed down to glorify that madness anyway. Wow. You understand? For real, the God blessing all the trap niggas. You gotta think how destroyed you gotta be to even let that come out of your mouth. God blessing all the trap niggas. For real. Like, man, my country be trapping here. They the ones that let the Nicaraguans. You gotta imagine the stuff that niggas be saying.
Man.
You understand? Ronald Reagan was the real kingpin. Nigga, that was my president, nigga, when I was born, nigga. That's the type of stuff black people be saying. Y'all know I ain't lying.
Right. They be like, hell yeah.
So it take the prophets of God to go into the scriptures and properly expose the evils of the so-called white man. You understand? It's not, of course, they not getting out on the street with sunglasses and all that.
Right.
And they imported, right. They did the worst. They the reason how it got over here. That's the point. They could have stopped it. Your mama could have never been on a crack rock. You understand? Your auntie could have never got on crack cocaine. They allowed it. They permitted it because they was greedy and they knew what it was going to do to you and your people for generations. You understand? So it is what it is, man. That's the truth about the crack era. And it's a lot more stuff we could have hit on, but we got other truth to talk about, and we done went way over time with this. So, but all praise to the Most High, man. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, share the room, spread the word. Ain't nobody dealing with these topics how we dealing with these topics, man. Y'all got something?
Yeah, and Esau gonna die. They gonna get their judgment, y'all.
And they ain't no hate. That's truth. This is the truth campaign.
All praise to the Most High. Make sure y'all subscribe to IUIC in the Classroom, IUIC in the Classroom 2, Patient Saints Radio 2.0, Four Corners News, Lions Dens Radio, the Raven and Wolves Radio Show, Our Hidden History, Escaping the Plantation 2.0.
We got everything.
Wisdom Cry Out Radio Show. Man, subscribe to all of them. All right, each Writings on the Wall Radio Show. What else? Saying of the Seers. Is that the name of it? The Saying of the Seers. Right, with Officer Hareb, Kansas City. Yeah. Like in the scripts reloaded. Look, it's so many.
That's right.
Make sure y'all listen. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe, man. We all got different flavors, but we all got the same message. We all speaking the same thing. We doing what we got to do, trying to get our people to wake up and repent, come back to who you are, your true identity, and how to serve God to get us out of these conditions. How we do it on Let's Talk Truth is exposing the truth about these things that our people have been ignorant to, lied to about, and things of that nature. We're going to bring the truth out, all right? That's why you should subscribe to us right now and share the page.
Yes, sir.
Right? But I'll pray to the Most High, Lord's willing. Y'all see us next week with more on Let's Talk Truth.
Yeah, hey, my homie got rich in the trap. I know that he's thinking I'm mad. When he dials my number, he says that he wonders why I don't and I won't hit him back. One day I did hit him back. One day I did hit him back. Told him that crazy is black. And I told him to keep all the laws. The Lord coming back. But my homie, he's stuck in the trap. My brothers, at night I pray for my mother. What we had was a ball like no other. And I'm knowing too well I was under a spell when I was telling that girl that I loved her. Hey, my mind is filled with that clutter. Lord's willing, I stand and recover. But you don't really know what we've been through. Coming up was tough, the feeling was stuck. They popping them beans like a sensu. Enough is enough, I'm calling your bluff. We all need that someone to vent to. Smoke. Hell nah, I ain't sharing no gun smoke. Hell nah, I don't care if it's runs, bro. It's repent or die, I ain't telling no lie. One body, one mind, and it's one soul.